have yearned for your tender caress, to bind our fortunes. Damn what the stars are, rend my heart open, then your love profess, a winding, weaving fate to which we both atone. You flee, my dream come the morning, your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet, to dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. The wolf I will follow into the storm, to find your heart, its passion displaced by our ever-growing, hardening into stone, amidst the cold to hold you in a heated embrace. You flee, my dream come the morning, your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet, to dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep. I know not if fate would have us live as one, or if by love's blind chance we've been bound. The wish I whispered when it all began, did it forge a love you might never have found? You flee, my dream come the morning,
I'm vibing.
Your scent, berries tart, lilac sweet,
I'm vibing.
to dream of raven locks and twisted stormy, of violet eyes glistening as you weep.
I'm vibing. I'm vibing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Hopefully you're feeling good on a Friday. Luke, I'm like, calm down, Rocky. Go back to your cage. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody? How's everybody doing? Hopefully pretty good. That's the hope. Good morning. Saturday. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Don't be so Eastern centric, okay? Americans are people too. Here, let me get the chat going up on screen. Oh boy, I had one of those nights. I realized something late last night. Am I clipping today? Yes, I think so. There's gonna be, I think this first story you could clip and we could turn it into a TikTok because it really, it hurts. It just, oh man, this one. Okay, how do I even say this? Hold on, let me just pull it up to prepare. I'll do this. I shared this to Twitter, of course. I also mentioned it on Discord, all of which is linked below in the link tree if you have not joined that yet. Also, everybody like the stream. That does actually help get this out. Let's see. Sorry. I have another email from CD Projekt Red in my inbox. Not going to tell you what it says, though. Sure ain't. Sure ain't. I ain't telling you crap. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah, here it is. Oh my God. This one hurts. So the first, I think I can. Yeah, let me share it like this, and then I'll just crop that stuff out. Oh man, this one hurts. Okay. Okay. This one's real bad. Oh man, it hurts my heart. You guys are about to see what just pure pain and misery looks like. Here, I'll do this and then transform fit to screen, but I want to crop out that little bit because I think that's private. Let me double check. There's nothing else private here. Yes. Okay. Results forfeiture. Okay. So yeah, this one hurts. Here we go. Let me just share this with you. I received this email on December 28th. December 28th. Well, this is a copy. This is a reminder copy that I got like January 10th or something. But the first invitation came on December 28th. It is an invite to a private screening at the Angelica Film Center in New York City to see The Last of Us, the HBO show, early, like 4 days before it went public. I remember seeing pictures of other YouTubers and influencers there, and I was like, oh man, that would have been cool to go to. They did invite me, but Gmail marked this as spam. So I didn't see it until last night. Yeah, everybody laugh at me. It probably will actually help me feel better about myself because it is really funny when you think about it. Yeah, like it is actually kind of hilarious. Oh, and dude, they had light bites and cocktails. Those are my favorite. Man, it hurt. It hurt. When I saw this, I was scrolling my phone before bed. I just sat there, silent, for like 2 minutes. Nikki's like, what is it? It's like, my heart hurts. Oh, you just stepped on a screw in the basement? Oh, I'm sorry, Sophie. That's almost as bad as stepping on a fresh Lego. One time, my older brother Joe, when we lived in Texas, he stepped on a rusty nail and it went through his foot. I remember that. It was pretty scarring. I was little at the time. I was probably like 5, 6 years old. But I remember that event because my parents like rushed him to the hospital and it was like a whole thing. Oh man. But I've seen the last, well, this I think they were going to show the first like 3 episodes, is my understanding. And then, of course it was early. So you got to see it on the 11th of January, whereas everybody else, you know, was waiting till the 15th and then the 22nd and then the 29th. So yeah, it's just, oh man, what a missed opportunity. I like realistically, okay, for something like this, I probably, if I had seen it on the 28th, I probably would have bought plane tickets, flown to New York and done it. Because, I mean, that's badass. But what are you going to do? It's too late now. It's too late now. Did you hear about the boy who tried to catch fog? He missed. Wow. That's good. That's good. I like that. Yeah. My heart is not at all broken. So that's my really awkward story of the day. That's the one where I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, thank you, Luke Rafferty, for the $5.99, €5, 5.99 euros. Thank you. He's never going to let us forget that he got invited to The Last of Us premiere and he missed the email. Yeah. No, now whenever I get invited to something and I tell you guys are going to be like, oh, so you saw this email. Oh man, it's my own damn fault because like I have 3 emails that sponsors and stuff reach out to, and then like press and media people send out to. I only have myself to blame, really. And then this one, for whatever reason, Gmail thought looked fishy, and so they marked it as spam, which is such a cruel trick to play. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. I'm like, just call me. Like, these companies have my business line. Just call me. Leave a voicemail. I can't think of the last time I picked up a phone call that I didn't recognize, like, who it was from, or I didn't have the contact info. I can't remember the last time I picked up a phone call and answered it if I didn't recognize the number. But leave a voicemail, you know? Like, I don't get why you just send an email and you're like, hopefully they get it. I don't, like, come on, man. Oh, I don't get it. But anyway, it's too late now. It's too late now. Hold on, I have to publish today's video. Unbelievable. 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 Okay, anyway. So that's step one. That's the first thing. Sorry, I got a Discord message that's very funny. I know a bunch of you guys sent me DMs on Discord. I will be going over those on the drive today. I have like an hour and a half, 2 hour drive I have to do. Don't worry, I won't be doing it while driving. Nikki will be driving and I'll be in the voicemail. I'll be in the passenger seat. I read Sophie's message on voicemails right as I said that. Anyway, I'll be going through all those DMs in the car later, so let me just say, you know, I will get to those. I will respond to those. So I'm not ignoring you. It's just, I have to like segment time because there's just a crap ton of stuff. But anyway, how's everybody doing? I want to hear about you. Enough about me and my misery. Let me know. If it's important, they'll call back. That is such a grandma thing to say. If it's important, they'll call back. Yeah, Luke looks frazzled. Yeah, my heart's still going about 150 beats a second. Not a minute, a second. Yeah. That sort of thing shakes into, yeah, no, it does. The sky is finally clear here, or down here. Awesome. Here it's still a little misty, a little foggy. We had outside probably like 10 inches of snow where we are. A little further west, there were a couple feet. So it got pretty snowy, but it's definitely much better now. Well, long game, YOLO. I'm glad you brought that up because I got in contact with them and they did say they will send a review code. So I will be reviewing Wolong when it comes out, whenever that is. I would guess probably they send codes like late February. Well, I currently feel like death, but this stream has instantly lifted my mood. I'm glad, Sophie. I'm glad. Going to play The Last of Us after watching the show. I've been doing kind of the same thing, but going through The Last of Us Part 2. I just got to the part. I'm probably about 3/4 of the way through. Because I'm headed to the hospital the second time. Wink, wink. But it's technically the first time. Wink, wink. I can't wink. Bad launching coming. Yeah, we're gonna talk about Forspoken because I'm gonna do a deep dive. I think we'll actually turn this into a main channel upload just so you guys know. So you guys will get featured on the big boy channel. Because I want to go through Forspoken. I've gotten really mixed messages from the company, from everybody else, and the whole thing is just really freaking weird. So I'm gonna offer my thoughts on that because I've had a couple other instances where studios say shit like, "Oh yeah, we'll send you codes. Yeah, we'll send you a review code," and then they just don't. That's what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. I don't know if you guys knew that. They said they were sending codes. I talked to them like a week before the game came out. Didn't hear from them. A couple days go by, still nothing. I send follow-up emails. They just stopped replying. Codes never went out. And as far as I can tell for Cyberpunk, it was that they never went out for anybody that requested codes that would be playable on last gen consoles. So like if you requested an Xbox code, you didn't get a review code. If you requested a PS4 code, you didn't get a review code. But if you requested just PC, you got a review code. Really, really weird. Hey, look, I'm from India. Love you. Oh, awesome. I'm glad to have you. That's cool. Hope you're having a great day. Oh, yes, John Marco, we're doing great. Main channel is fine, but true cool kids hang out on the live channel. Hint, hint. Yeah, for real. No, we've been having a good time here. I really have been having a really great time with you guys recently. And we also are starting to tick up in view counts. Like our average live stream highlight and clip is doing like 4,000 to 5,000 views now, which on a 12,000 sub channel is really, really good. That's, anywhere from 30 to 45% viewer participation or sub participation, which is awesome. I mean, you see like million sub channels that get like 100,000 views, and that looks great until you realize only 10% of subs are watching their stuff. For us on this live channel, like 30 to 45% of you guys are watching the clips, which is awesome. That's amazing. Way better than we expected. We made that change where we stopped doing the like 2-minute videos and clips of like individual news stories, and we started doing longer deep dive stuff, and you guys seem to really like it. So I'm glad. We're going to keep doing it. I finished my annual watch/listen to your Valhalla critique last night. Still a banger. Dude, I haven't gone back through it. I think one day we'll go back through some of my old critiques, because it might be weird, but I've noticed this with YouTubers I watch as well. Like, YouTubers don't typically watch their own stuff. It's kind of weird, like, for me to just listen to myself ramble. So, like, people will say, but in your critique of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, you said this. Are you going back on that now? And I'm like, I made that video like 4 or 5 years ago. I honestly don't remember what I said, but this is what I think now. So for a lot of people, I think it's much more, they go back to it, they watch it a lot, but they aren't like, for me, I'm not going back to it and watching it regularly. So I'm kind of out of touch. Like, I saw somebody sent me a clip of The Last of Us critique, that The Last of Us Part 2 critique we did. And it was a little note on a part of the game that I won't spoil, but it was a little note on it, and I had totally forgotten about it. I was like, see, like I'm learning stuff from myself in years past. How cool is that? It's pretty fun. Virus, good to see you. I'm still waiting for The Witcher 3 re-review. Yes, I've also been playing through that. Good stuff. They did just announce The Witcher 3 next-gen version is getting a physical release, so at least I think they announced that publicly. Oops. But yeah, that will be getting a physical release, so that's pretty cool. Have I played any of the Mountain Blade games? No, I have not, but I've seen them. They did? Okay, thank God. Whew. It's in one of like 15 emails I have. Hey folks, like the stream if you are a dead-ass legend. Also like the stream if you want to check your spam folder. Yeah. This is going to be a thing, I can already tell. But yes, everybody like this stream. Like this stream. We got 175 people in here, only 46 likes. We can do better. The Saboteur review. I've talked about the Saboteur a lot. I feel like every time I talk about it, people are like, I feel like I've seen this video before. Because there's only so much you can really say about it. But I mean, I do like that game. It's weird, but I do like it. Any idea on when we'll review The Witcher 3? I'm just going to try to make it through February, and then we'll evaluate. I would guess February is going to be crazy leading into mid-March. So like Hogwarts Legacy, we want to do a big critique of that. That's going to probably take until early to mid-March to finish. So there's going to be a lot of stuff like that where there's a little spillage, but probably around April, I would guess we can get to it. There's not a ton of stuff out in April, but it's going to be kind of threading the needle because we have craziness of February, a couple games in March, and then we have like the insanity of what will be Starfield and those games. So kind of bracing. Hogwarts Legacy review extravaganza. Yeah, we'll see. Oh, please say something from India and subscribe, please. Oh no, I see you. Dharmendra Kumar, thank you. I'm glad you're here. That's so cool. I always find it so cool to see people from all over the world. It's awesome. What house in Hogwarts Legacy do you want to be? Well, I was talking to Nikki actually. So little tidbit, I guess. There were some leaks that said that some gameplay and quests were cut from specifically the Ravenclaw playthrough, which sucks if that's true, but I don't know if that's true because it's a leak, it's speculation. But with that leak saying that, I want to investigate it and see for myself if that is the case. So I am going to, either ask Nikki to play Ravenclaw and then I'll play Slytherin or something like that, or vice versa. So Nikki's going to help me. She's going to play it, record her whole playthrough, and so we're going to compare. Because I want to know, like, oh, I played Slytherin and I had all this cool stuff happen. And then if they cut stuff from Ravenclaw, I want to know that. So in the critique and review, I can be like, hey, yeah, this is a big problem. There's stuff missing. So I want to be able to do that. March 29th, Starfield release. If they really do a quick turnaround like that, I'd be amazed. Xbox has the showcase on the 25th, I think, but they said that Starfield will not be there. Which would mean that they would be doing like, if they announced it in February, they'd be doing like a month turnaround. That'd be crazy. Fastest turnaround they've ever done. Have I looked into how long Hogwarts Legacy is going to be? There's conflicting leaks. Some people are saying that it's 30 hours for the story, 70 for completionist runs. Others are saying that it's more like 70 hours for main story and side content, and then like 200 plus hours for completionist, because you have to go through all of the houses. I have this one little bit of hair that doesn't want to cooperate. Get down. Stop it. Stop it. I give up. But I don't know who to believe. I would guess more like 30 hours to finish the main story and some side content, and then 70 hours to finish all that. And then there's probably unique quests and stuff to find in each house. So a lot of people are going to play it through with every house and just do 4 run-throughs. That would be my guess. Thank you, Davik. Thank you for the $4.99. It seems like it's only our character with flashy robes and everyone else is wearing the same base robes in Lost Legacy. Or you mean Hogwarts Legacy? Yeah, Lost Legacy. I was like, they wear robes? Feels out of place. I don't know. It's kind of like, it's just one of those video game things. And my understanding is they will explain it narratively. So like, there's a reason that your character gets special treatment. But it's the same thing with Harry. Like, Harry gets special treatment through the books and the movies. And it's like, wait, why is he Dumbledore's best friend? Come on. Just is what it is. Hoping we can get Quidditch game like the World Cup one they did a few years ago. Yes, that would be cool. I actually would be shocked if they are not currently developing it. I would put money, dead ass, on them currently in development on that. Dumbledore was grooming Harry, confirmed by J.K. Rowling in a tweet. Oh my god. Also, Harry was in a wheelchair the whole time. Oh god. Luke, thank you for becoming a member. K-Fabe, thank you. K-Fabe, maybe? Either way, thank you for becoming members. Appreciate you guys. That's very generous. That's awesome. Hogwarts Battle Royale. Wouldn't put it past them. Ugh. Hagrid is black. I can't keep up with it. She went back and like revised so much stuff, trying to like appease the kind of mob that was saying Harry Potter wasn't like diverse enough. So she came back through and is like, oh no, Hermione's always been in a wheelchair. We just never told you. You know, all sorts of stuff. That's weird. It was a weird choice. There's no appeasing the mob. Yeah, well, I think eventually she kind of realized that, which is why she came out and said all the stuff that she did, which she probably thought privately for a long time. But she eventually just got to the point where she's like, oh, so these people will never be happy? Okay, I'll just say what I really think and watch them squirm. Because I would bet you money there are a lot of people out there who are famous and celebrities who don't, like, are not as progressive as you might think. They might appear it, but they're not anywhere near as progressive as you would think, because they know that if they come out, they'll turn into J.K. Rowling. Everybody will call for their boycotts and stuff. So like, I see all of these actors and actresses coming up and being like, well, yeah, no, I really stand against what this person said. And I think, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't think they mean it. A lot of them, they're just saying it because it's what you have to say. Speaking of Hermione, can we see her on stream? Ooh, I could crack the door. Let me see if she's here. Also, for the video today, I'm sorry, Hermione hid under the desk for the whole recording, so I don't think you see her at all in it. But she was in the room. I was hoping she'd come out and surprise me, but I don't think so. Hermione, leave the door open. We'll see if she comes. Let me know if you see her walk in, if I don't see her. Or Finley. Finley might come in first. Dump truck cam, let's go. Calm down, Lucky Trapped. Oh, Lucky, you had a really funny comment I saw before we started. What was it? Oh, it was the whole thing about Hogwarts not having like actual high school diplomas. Where is it? Oh, no, I don't have it on this screen. But that was freaking hilarious because it's true. Like, you could graduate from Hogwarts and not have a college or a high school degree. So, like, you get out from getting that whole degree, studying for years, and when, like, you go back into society to get a job as, like, a receptionist, they say, well, do you have a GED? No. Okay, well, what did you study? Did you flunk out? No, I graduated. Okay, what was your like specialty? And they're like, well, I really excelled at potions. I'm also mean with a broomstick. I'm pretty sure I was in a coma the whole time. Like it sounds totally insane, but yeah, no, it's true. You wouldn't be able to do anything. I can't spell anything, but I can turn this cat into a cup. Yeah. Did you already speak about Mick Gordon's case? I don't think so. That name sounds familiar. Mick Gordon case. Oh, is that the guy who said he didn't get paid for his work on like Doom, I think it was? We talked about it a while back when the news first broke. I don't really understand. It sounds like they're just kind of like I don't know the intricacies of the case at all. I won't pretend to. But if it is the case that they screwed him out of payments and royalties, then yeah, he should sue their asses and get his money back. But yeah, like with this stuff, so often there's weird contractual loopholes and crap that, if you ever do a big deal like this, you need to hire an entertainment lawyer and have them look over the contracts. There's a guy in Denver that I've spoken to who all he does is he's a lawyer for entertainers. And so he looks at your contracts, he checks stuff over and makes sure it looks good. That's what you have to do. Sean, thank you for the 20. Don't worry about the HBO invite. Invite them to Operation Kojima Gummy Bear trailer. I talked to Jacob about that actually, because I was like, I kind of like actually want to do this. I think it would be freaking hilarious because there would be a lot of people who would start to think that it was real. And I think it'd be so funny. I'll show you the Titanic. That's how far along we are. It's not done yet. I have the last box right next to me. Oh, baby. But anyway, thank you, Sean. Also, just so you know, Sean, with the 50 you sent, we did get a Duplo set for Lachlan, and he has been having a lot of fun with it. We opened it up. We got it yesterday. We opened it up, and he started building like towers. He doesn't really get how they click together, so you have to kind of help him put the pieces together. But he builds a big tower with your help. Oh, hey, Finley. And then he loves to knock it down, and he goes, "Wah!" and then knocks everything down. Where'd you go? Are you behind the box? Did you just oh, you're under there. Oh, you snuck past me. Do you want to say hi? This is Finley Cat. Oh, your bean toes are so cold. This is Finley Cat. He's a rescue. You notice he's got the derpy eye? His left eye is like scarred over. So he's pretty much blind in that eye. But he was a rescue. His original name was Tatum. Nikki and I saved him from a shelter when he was just a kitten. And he was actually, the only reason he came to Colorado was because Hurricane Harvey came through Texas, if you remember that. And they evacuated all of the cats from all of those shelters and drove them up north. And so Mr. Finley, or Tatum at the time, he was one of those cats. born in Texas and then brought up to Colorado. And we just happened to get him. And he's just a good guy. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a big boy. If he hadn't have been neutered, he definitely would have. He likes to chin rubs. He definitely would have been even bigger, but see how he just kind of melts? He's like, I'm so happy. Yeah. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. Oh my goodness. He looks a bit like Channing Tatum after his name. Yeah, exactly. Oh, what a good fella. He's always been so cuddly. He's a huge cat. He's very strong, but with only one eye, basically, his like depth perception is horrible. So he's extremely clumsy. So he'll just constantly run into stuff. Like he'll try to jump up on ledges and just totally miss it. It would be funny if it weren't a little sad, but yeah. For him, unironically, I think it is. He's not fat. He's just big boned. You got eye goobers. Oh, you good guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I wonder if I can move the mic so you can hear his purrs. Can you smell it? Yeah. You're a good guy. What a good guy. What a good fella. But he also sheds a lot, and he has white hair. So the white hair gets in the keyboard and everywhere else. So normally he's not allowed in here. But yeah. Have they said anything about New Game Plus mode? I don't think so. I don't remember hearing anything about that. If this was the first time someone ever hopped into a stream, they would be, okay, weird cat guy. I'm like, hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. How's he not allowed in there when he purrs like this? Because he also comes in and then he, like, chews on cables. So can't really have that. I don't want to have a cat that gets electrocuted. Yeah, we just can't have that. We can't be having it. Yeah, you're a good guy. What a good guy. Isn't it great? Isn't it not great to have little bells on the collars? He actually, like, prefers it. And the only way I know that is that, like, we'll take his collar off and he will, like, sit next to it and paw at it until you put it back on. Oh, you see that puff of hair? I don't know if that came through on the camera. There's just a puff of hair. But yeah, he actually likes it. It's probably because he's been like using it since he was a kitten. Because even if you don't get a bell, you have the tag on the metal loop, so it still makes a sound. So I think they get used to it. Yeah, the Legos are probably the other thing that would disqualify him from hanging out in here more often. Because again, remember what I said about him being clumsy? he has no depth perception. So he would try to sniff like one of the towers on the Hogwarts castle and he would just totally miss it and knock it over. Like he just doesn't have that. Yeah, hit likes, not for me. Hit the like button for the cat. Hit the like button for Mr. Finley cat. Mr. Finny Cat. Nice to see you again. Thank you for your work. You really made this week's evening from Austria very enjoyable for me. Greetings. Awesome. Glad to have you. Thank you. What happened with the eye? He had it when we adopted him. The shelter said they thought that it was maybe like cat herpes or something because it can do that to their eyes sometimes. The vet we took him to said it just looked like he had had a scratch like on his cornea or something, and then it scarred over. And so he's like, it doesn't hurt him. It's just like he just has a scar right over the lens of his eye, so he just can't really see. But it doesn't hurt him. They're like, we don't think you need to like remove the eye or anything. He just can't really see out of that eye. So it's fine, but Okay, Mr. Finley. Thank you for hanging out. It was a pleasure. Now my whole shirt's white. Oh, can you see it? Can you see the hair? I don't know if you can. Not really. It just looks like a shirt. Looks like I'm weirdly posing. Buying little cat glasses. If that would help, I totally would, because I think that'd be adorable. But anyway. Is Hogwarts Legacy the game you're most excited for this year or something else? I'd say excited, yeah. It intrigued, maybe not, because I think I have a pretty good idea of what Hogwarts Legacy will bring to the table. But and like I think Starfield's more intriguing because I'm like, there's a lot of question marks with Hogwarts or with Starfield, whereas Hogwarts Legacy, I think at this point we know pretty well what it's going to be. But as for everything else, like Atomic Heart, I'm pretty excited for. I'm interested in that. Suicide Squad, I've always said looked weird. There's something off with that game. And again, if you guys doubt me, you can go check the tapes. Like, this is not like when I say stuff like, oh, I've been skeptical of Suicide Squad for a while. You guys can check it. Like I have been. I just, something about that game sits weird. And now we're starting to see some stuff that makes me think, okay, yeah, no, this is weird. This is weird. By the way, everybody, if you want a copy of God of War for PS5, head over to the Discord, join the Discord, linked in the description. I just have an extra copy, so if you want to join the Discord, I'll probably just be giving it away this weekend. I don't know. We'll do like one of those bot commands, randomly select a member or something. Like, or we'll like ask people to put their name in if they are interested in it and if they want it and don't already own it. And then from that pool, we'll select somebody. So yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Thesaurus. I'm like, these things are probably worth like $1.50. Like, but like I have an extra one just laying around, and maybe there's somebody out there who hasn't played it and would really like a copy for free. So reach out to me. We have that, and what else? Phantom Liberty. Well, do you consider Phantom Liberty a full game? Maybe. I mean, like I'd say I'm excited for it. Yeah. Okay, let's do this. Also, by the end of today, I should have one of those new PlayStation Edge controllers so we can unbox it on stream. It should be getting here sometime before 1, so sometime in the next like 2.5 hours. And when that comes, I'll sprint upstairs to sign for the box. But when that comes, we'll just unbox it, which will be fun. Anyway, giveaway include England. I think it says US. Yeah, it says only available to legal United States residents with an account who are 18 or older. So I think it's US only. We ran into that the other day where I tried to buy a game for one of my mods as a thank you. And I bought a US. I just wasn't thinking. I tried to gift it through Xbox, and I just bought a US copy of the game to gift to him. Didn't work. Couldn't redeem it because he's in the UK. It was an oopsie. Let's see. It's very hurtful. Yeah, I mean, maybe you guys should have been nicer to us. We wouldn't have to get rid of all your tea. And you could have the game, you know? Should have been nicer. I'm not saying you guys had this coming, but a little bit. I'm kidding. I love all of you from the UK. You guys are great. Okay. You're welcome for a country mode. Oh. Yeah, the big shakeup at 343. Yeah, that whole thing is insane. We all thought that basically Halo was going to be Xbox's ace in the hole and that they would bring that franchise back from oblivion and make it just explode and be super successful again. But instead, they have proceeded to systematically screw up at every single turn. And now all of the executives are leaving, all of the directors are leaving, probably because they're like, yeah, no, this just isn't working. And I'm not going to spend my whole career here doing nothing. So they're leaving. And so I think Halo's in big trouble. As for like what I think it says more broadly, to me, it seems pretty clear. Xbox has a management issue between studios. PlayStation's always been good at working with studios under their first party umbrella to give them time, resources, and stuff they need to be successful and to get these games across the finish line. But Xbox just doesn't. And it's weird. But they consistently have games that restart development, that do this and that. And what it might be is that they're too loose on the green light button. It could be that Xbox is just so desperate to have a successful game, an exclusive, that they just green light it before the idea is really, really solid. And like we heard the story in that Raising Kratos documentary of Shuhei Yoshida coming to Sony Santa Monica and trying out a copy of God of War, what was to become God of War 2018. And he tried it early on, probably like 2015, and had a horrible experience. He thought the game was terrible. He's like, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. You got to change this, this, and this. And he came in as one of the head honchos, played the game, and had a list of notes for what they needed to fix and change. Whereas for Xbox, I kind of get the vibe that they're just like, we're so happy you're making a game. Welcome to Xbox. Let's do it. Here's some money. And I think you got to have a little more guidance than that. So that's the vibe I get, is that there's very little management. There's sort of broad supervision, but there's not a lot of management involved. That's at least my perception. So, wait, we can bully the British in here, and good fun. We have some lively Brits in here that will push back. So be careful, because like if you start to dish it out, you got to be able to take it, because the Brits are pretty hardcore in here. I don't know. Microsoft like shotgun blasts everything. I don't know. It's just weird. Like they've greenlit stuff that never sees the light of day. And then stuff just sits in development hell for ages. And so there's something weird going on with Xbox where they can't get games across the finish line while PlayStation can. So I don't know exactly what it is. Maybe there's some reporting or something out there that explains it, but as of right now, I don't know. Okay. Jacob. Quick note, okay? So I think what we'll do is we'll turn this next segment into a main channel video. I'll probably film a separate little intro to this after the stream. Let me mark that down real quick just so I remember to do it. There we go. And so what we'll do is we'll just jump into this. We're going to do sort of a deep dive into Forspoken. You guys are going to be here for this. I will be showing the chat occasionally, so be on your best behavior. And it will probably be pretty straightforward. A little bit long, because what I want to do is we're going to go through the review code mess that's going on right now. I want to touch on basically like what they've said in terms of PC specs. Forspoken PC specs. Voila. There we go. And then I want to actually jump into the demo, which I have downloaded, and actually show you hands-on what my concerns are. So this is going to be fairly comprehensive, but considering this is like the first big PlayStation game of the year, I guess technically, that they paid for exclusivity on, I think it's worth bringing up. So we're going to do it. Right? Okay. Okay, so let's deep dive a little bit into Forspoken, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit of what concerns me, what excites me. There's not a lot that excites me, but I'm going to explain to you what my overarching thoughts are, and we're going to do a deep dive on this, skeptically evaluating each claim that's presented to us along the way. Again, to be perfectly clear, skepticism is not cynicism. Skepticism simply means do not believe something until there's adequate or sufficient evidence to believe that thing. So in this case, the claim is, Forspoken is worth playing and is going to be good and is worth your pre-order and money. We're going to evaluate that claim skeptically and critically to see whether or not that actually stacks up. Looking at some of the red flags, some of the concerning things we've seen based on my experience reviewing games, all of that good stuff. And then we're actually going to boot up into the demo to play the game itself and see whether or not there's something hidden here that's secretly really awesome, or if it's just what it appears to be on the surface, which is quite lackluster. So let's get into it. Luke, make a t-shirt saying skeptic. Oh, we could do that. That'd be fun. I'd wear it. I wear it all the time. I will say I did. We do have some cool designs that I have to set up through the store that are going to be pretty fun. Obviously, Jacob, this you can cut out, but just saying. Okay, so first things first. Hold on. Let me pull up this tweet. Okay. Screen share. So first things first, I think it's important for us to just establish our biases. I don't think... Let me do it here. So first things first, I think it's important to establish our biases. I have played through the Forspoken demo. I've watched the trailers. I've read the articles describing this game, and I have not had a very positive opinion of the game thus far. I think in general, it looks pretty bland, pretty lackluster, and there's just not a hook that's bringing me in that's like, ooh, I want to play it for that. Huge boss fights. I want to play it for that. There's nothing like that yet that I've seen that really excites me. And furthermore, I cut the furthermore. But nonetheless, I still would like to review this game so that I can inform you guys what I think of it, if it's good, if it's bad, if it surprised me, all of that good stuff. And normally we would just reach out to the company and try to get a review code. They'd say, oh yes, sure, we'll get it to you a week before or 3 days before launch or whatever it happens to be. However, me and my team have been totally unable to get in contact with anyone from Square Enix, which is not super common, especially because members of my management team have contacts within the company and regularly speak to them. But when it comes to Forspoken, they're oddly not spoken at all. Nobody's talking about it. They won't acknowledge review codes, and they're just not sending anything out. It's really weird. I feel like a VIP watching behind the scenes. This is how the magic is made, dude. Okay. And as we see in this tweet, let me do this. And as we see in this tweet from SkillUp, he says, quote, have now heard from or about 7 major outlets / reviewers who did not get review codes for this. As always, no outlet is entitled to a code, but this limited code is a huge red flag. I also haven't heard of any outlet having access to a PC code yet, but I can't confirm this, end quote. And this is in reference to what Andy Robinson said, who I believe is a writer or the owner, of the Video Game Chronicle news site, and said, quote, it looks like VGC sadly won't be publishing any Forspoken review on Monday since Square Enix has decided not to supply us with a code. That's an extremely rare occurrence for us, so read into it what you would like. It's a little concerning. And I will say, like I see, I stumble. Yeah, it's no spoken. It's not unspoken. Maybe that's what it is. It should be unspoken. Seriously, what is with the name Forspoken? It's so dumb. Anyway. So that's how the sausage is. Oh, the red flag. I should get the red flag. See, then we hide it so we can bring it out of nowhere. Surprise the audience, you know. Let's see, what was I saying? And as I mentioned, I didn't get a review code, which is not super uncommon. I haven't gotten review codes before. It happens. Who cares? But the fact that huge websites like VGC, big reviewers like SkillUp are not getting review codes either, that's a little strange. And the reason it's strange is because most games that are good want people to play them, review them well, and recommend them to their audiences. There really is no reason that a good game would hide from reviewers. And that's why it's a red flag. Okay, let's do this. Other things that people have been concerned about are like the PC specs listed for the PC port of the game. They're quite demanding, and even still, the performance doesn't look to be that optimized. In general, it really seems like this isn't going to be an optimized PC port, which is a bummer because from the beginning, it doesn't seem to be graphically that impressive to begin with. It looks kind of bland across the board. So it's like, okay, it's really demanding and bland. Okay, that's great. And for multiple reasons, I cannot tell you exactly how I know this, but I do know firsthand that they are not handing out PC codes to people. The few reviewers and critics that have gotten codes to review this game are only reviewing it, as far as I've become aware, on PlayStation 5. And that is also a big red flag. You guys remember Cyberpunk 2077, a game which launched horribly broken, especially on, say, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Reviewers who requested review codes for those consoles didn't get review codes at all. But if you requested just a PC code, then you got your review code. It was really, really strange. And this time around, it seems to be the opposite, where if you request PlayStation 5 codes, you're good. But if you request a PC code, you just like they lose your email. They forget to email you back. It's really weird. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Yeah, no PC codes is quite sus. You're not kidding. And like I said, I can't say exactly how I know. SkillUp mentioned it in his tweet. I think I know how he knows people aren't getting PC codes, because it's probably the same way I know, but I can't explain why. So you'll have to just infer from my statements. And then it was Forspoken trailer. Cinematic trailer, that's what it is. Okay. And there's other concerning things too, such as like, I don't even know what this game is supposed to be. It's like a girl who lives in the Bronx, but then is transported to a magical world. And then like she has a talking bracelet, but then she also upgrades her abilities by changing the color of her fingernail paint. I'm not making this up. This is actually what the game is. I'm not making it up. This is real. This is real life. You know what? This is the kind of game that I bet Hideo Kojima loves. Yeah, I could take that. That's a cool shot. I'll give him that. And you know what? This really does seem like the kind of game that Hideo Kojima will just absolutely love, and he's gonna like straight up copy and paste multiple scenes into Death Stranding 2 because he's taking inspiration from it. I'm just braced for that because it's so weird and wacky. I'm ready for it. Okay, let's do this. I'm gonna change inputs. Red flag Discord emote. How do we not have that yet? That's a good point. Come on, you. Okay, I have a controller for my monitor. That's the BenQ way. BenQ makes great monitors. They sent me these monitors for free, by the way. They're just that crazy. Okay, do I have... Ooh, groovy music. Melody, what's that? This is like that really weird dissonant lovemaking music. Like the thing that went viral on Reddit. You know? That's what this is like. Oh, we'll try it. Okay. Why you got Days Gone there, bro? Because I like Days Gone, bro. What's up? What's up? What's up? Nah, I had it downloaded because we're doing a video on Days Gone. That's why. That's usually the answer. If it's downloaded on this PS5, I don't play games down here in the studio just for fun. Everything down here is for work. Okay. But you know what? We need to be fair, level-headed, and more than anything, I was going to say fair again. That doesn't make any damn sense. But you know what? We're trying to be skeptical, but not cynical pricks. So let's give this game a fair shot by way of the demo, which is not something that you often get the ability to do. Normally, these games don't launch with demos that you can evaluate. So you know what? I appreciate it. And I will say this seems to be one of those rare cases where the demo has actually turned more people off of the game than turned them onto it, which I also find just thoroughly hilarious. But let's check it out. Oh, kind of a bop, not gonna lie. Don't lie to me. I mean, it sounds like you're lying. So first things, in the settings, you can go in here to change aim assist, all of this stuff, auto evasion, support spell switching. Oh, Jesus. And then you look at the right side for all of the controls. Oh, baby. Okay. Display settings, quality focused or performance, ray tracing. I'm going to go performance because I like the higher refresh rate. Sound settings, all of that's good. Wireless controller, all sorts of, I mean, I'll give them credit. There's a ton, just a ton of customization, which is always a good sign. I do appreciate that. But okay, let's do this. Okay, we are now booting in. Thank you for playing the Forspoken demo, in which you can enjoy a sample of the game. This will be saved automatically. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Frey Holland.
Here we go.
Daydreamer, cat lover, New Yorker.
Relatable.
On a fateful evening, her life changed drastically when she was mysteriously transported to the beautiful, treacherous land of Athia.
Oh no, it's
Frey
treacherous.
arrives with a magical, sentient bracelet inexplicably wrapped around her arm, then discovers she can cast powerful spells and use magic to swiftly traverse the sprawling landscapes. The last remnants of Athia's populace soon look to Frey as their only hope for confronting the Tantas, once benevolent matriarchs who now rule as maddened and evil sorceresses. Reluctant to help, but desperate to find a way back home, Frey sets off on a journey through this strange and dangerous land.
Okay. You know what? It's original. What I don't understand is, like, why didn't they just have her live in a magical world? Like, why did they have to have her from the Bronx transport? Like, is that supposed to make her more relatable? Maybe? I don't know. But every time they do that, like, these are conscious decisions. They are choosing to do this above and beyond the more simple options. So there's got to be a purpose. Hopefully it's a good one. Fish out of water complex. Maybe? I don't know. It's freaking weird. Let's see. Performance mode is borked in the demo at the moment. 40 FPS hybrid mode is more from what I've tested. Okay. Here, we can include this real quick. Oh, wait. Hold on. Before we get into it, I'm seeing from Eric. Is that it? Eric? Sorry, it's really small on my screen. In chat, Luke, performance mode is borked in the demo at the moment. The 40 FPS hybrid mode is much better from what I've tested. Okay. That's good to know. I mean, I guess we'll change it. Is that the play? Begin the tutorial. Yes. No, I pressed up, but it went 2 instead of 1. Okay, controls are set. Wait, no, yes, I did. Okay, this is probably more me with my sausage fingers accidentally pressing the button twice when I mean to press it once. But you know what? I'll pretend to blame it on the game so that I'm not as embarrassed. Because that's what YouTubers are supposed to do, right? Okay, settings, display, performance focused. Let's see, quality. Is that what you're saying? Quality is the hybrid mode? Is that the play? Every mode except that mode works that way. So are you saying that that quality is the mode to play with? I don't know. Okay, we'll try this. Okay, we've changed the mode now. This is more 30 to 40 FPS because this apparently doesn't have the resolution totally screwed up, so we'll go with this. I will say, like, at the outset, it doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks particularly good, but it doesn't look bad. In terms of movement and feel, the haptics on the PlayStation 5 are really solid. You can see we can pull up different spell types. Scatter shots, we can do that. And then we can throw those out just with left and right trigger. Pretty simple. And then if we want to run, we can just hold down circle and she just sprints and like free climbs. Okay. Well done. One of the things that stood out to me about this game is something that I call particle effect fetishism, which is a very Square Enix thing where basically like the game is obsessed with just particle effects everywhere and they think that that just makes the game look cool. Like, how do we make this frame look better? Particle effects, and they just sprinkle it all in. It's something Square Enix does with most of their games, and you can see it in full force here. Like, if we look off in the distance, this isn't that interesting a shot, but they just sprinkle in particle effects with her free running and call it good. Let's see. Now, if we pull up the journal, you can see we've got a couple of... Now, if we pull up the journal, you can see that we've got a handful of objectives. Dive into the Rosewood Fount, defeat all enemies at the Merville Bridge, go to the Central Refuge, at the Water Garden, acquire a new cloak. Okay, all pretty straightforward. If we check the map, you can see all of this is available to us to explore. I don't know how big the final map will be for the game, but I would imagine bigger than this. And there's interesting places to go to. Experience can be found here, photo shoots. Let's go to a photo shoot. That sounds like a responsible thing to do. Let's go over here. Let's do that one. Now, cringe is something that's been brought up a handful of times with this game, and I've always found the topic of cringe relatively fascinating, because it's like, how do you define cringe? What is cringy versus not cringy? What's like well-written versus cringe writing? And I think there's multiple parts to it. It's not as simple as just, lol, this one makes me laugh, so it's cringe. I think there's a little bit more nuance to it. Can I get up this way? No, I can't. But what's this? Oh, there's a crate. Okay, I'll open the chest, and there's something in it. Okay. Angle stone. Okay. Okay. Try not to consume them all at once. But more than anything, I think cringe usually has to do with failing to achieve the goal. And in that failure, we kind of we kind of revel in the hilarity that ensues. Like when a game is trying really hard to be funny or witty and have interesting banter and it just fails, that's cringy because they're trying really hard to do something and they're just failing every step of the way. I think that's kind of what it is with this, where they try to give the protagonist interesting dialogue and banter with her cufflink thing, and she just isn't that interesting. She's not relatable. She's not interesting and funny. And so it just comes off as really, really cringy. And then they made a demo out of that. Mao, thank you for the 15 shekels. Appreciate you. Her talking ruins it though.
Well, do something.
Yeah, I think it does kind of pull you out of it. Here, let's actually fight these guys and see what we've got. So we've got the kind of basic aim thing here. That's cool. I'll give him that. I've got a machine gun. Vulnerable to this type of attack.
A whole lot better than I did a minute ago.
Okay. Can I whip? Come on, do it.
Why not take a step back?
I suck at this. Hold on.
Leave me alone.
Why not leave me alone? That's cool. And I will say, I do think the combat has a lot of leeway. A lot of people bash the combat early on, including myself, because it seems pretty unidimensional and straightforward. But there actually is a good amount of variety here, especially once you start swapping out spells and attack types and stuff. There's a good amount of stuff to do, and I think you could have a lot of fun building out particular loadouts and spell build-outs. So I think that the combat actually could be the real strong point of this. I don't think the demo does a good way of showcasing it, but that's a separate issue, you know. But one of the things I mentioned in the TikTok I made on this game is that she has a terrible case of never shut the hell up itis. So what I want to do is actually do like a little experiment. We're going to just run. I'm going to stay silent. And we're going to see how long until she says something stupid, okay? Let's do it. Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Could pretend we didn't notice.
That was probably 2.5 seconds. Okay, that was a little staged because he started talking to her. But come on. Oh God. Okay. We'll like do a serious thing because he was already talking to her. Let's just open a chest. Let's play the game normally and see what happens and what she says. Okay, we'll be fair. Okay. Well, first I'll fight these guys. Okay, I can scan this. Okay.
Who are you trying to hit exactly?
That fucker right there.
Okay, that was more like 5 seconds. That was okay. And I want to be fair, like a lot of games have protagonists that say stuff during combat, like Geralt doing the thing of like, ooh, that hurt and stuff like that when he gets hit. And yeah, we could maybe lump that same thing into it. But with this, she's like, yeah. Oh, I got hit. Who are you trying to hit exactly? That over there. That's who I'm trying to get. Like, yeah, she said the F word. I just don't find it relatable. It's just kind of cringe. Oh. Okay, well, let's finish this out. Hold on, I gotta turn the audio back up. There we go. Love it. Okay. Whoa.
Yeah, what he said.
I'm gonna go burst shot. Love it. Again, see what I mean about particle effects? Everywhere. Let's do leech. And scatter shot. Whoop.
Here he comes. Yeah.
There we go.
That was a lot.
That was a
Well,
lot.
it seems to be over now.
Seems to be very reassuring.
Okay. Let's jump off a cliff and end this. Nope, can't die. Okay. Let's open this chest. I don't know why it's here on a random cliff face, but let's open it. Okay. Janoon's mantle. I will be real. This is a personal preference. This is in no way indicative of the game being bad or having problems. Okay, I want to be very clear about that. This is purely a nitpick from Luke Stevens being a prick. Okay, I personally really don't find it interesting. I find it difficult to justify exploration and stuff when resources are named stuff that's so bizarrely obscure, because usually you're collecting these things for crafting, right? So, okay, I need a shore violet, I need tall aster, Janoon's mantle, and flute blossoms. Like, I would prefer not to have to memorize a whole catalog of different plant types and their names in this mythical world in order to be able to figure out what I need to craft stuff. It's just a personal preference of mine. So like when I open a chest and I see, oh, it's got a snoogleberry in it. Oh, awesome. That to me isn't as satisfying as being like, oh, you found this type of armor, or oh, you found this weapon that's usable, like in a game like Elden Ring or something. I just don't find it as fun to open it up and find like a boogleberry or a snoogle or something like that. I just want something that I can at least understand. And maybe when I play this game more, I'll understand it because I'll start to know what those things are. But as of right now, I don't know what they are. It's just kind of weird. I love boogleberries and snoogle. Well, that makes one of us. Hi-ya! Slap, slap, slap. Okay. Okay. I will say, based on what we're seeing right now, I do think that this game could be one that looks really, really good on PC if you could, like, get 120 frames and then also crank it to like native 4K and stuff with DLSS and everything. I think that this is a game that could really excel on PC, which makes the weird behavior surrounding the PC copy really, really strange. And depending on when you're watching this, the PC version of the game might already be out. So you might know how it runs. And here's the thing with all of this. Okay, to be completely fair. It may turn out that this game is really good, and the marketing team just dropped the ball horribly. They decided to double down on a demo that didn't make the game look very good. They decided to be really strange with reviewers and not communicate to reviewers when they were getting copies or if they were, and the review process was thrown out of whack as a result. So everybody was very, very negative towards the game before it even launched. It could be that the marketing team is to blame for all of this. Or I think the simpler explanation is just that they know that this PC version probably has some issues, and they know that reviewers who have already been a little skeptical of the game and weren't thrilled with the demo might not like the full game because it's just the demo for 30 hours. I don't know. I guess we'll find out very shortly what this game actually looks like and how it plays. But as of right now, this is all we have to go on. And the reason we're doing this is because as a consumer, this is what you will be doing to make an informed decision on your purchase. Because guess what? If they're not sending copies of the games to reviewers that you trust, but only to reviewers who they think are going to give them good marks, that's not reliable information to you. So the reviews won't really matter at the end of the day because you don't watch those reviewers because they were already like overly positive towards this game, or they didn't send review codes to the skeptical ones or the critical ones. So there's no useful information to be garnered from them. And so for us, this is all we can do to evaluate whether this game is worth purchasing before it comes out and before the biggest, creators and streamers and YouTubers have made their reviews and analyses of this. And frankly, from what we're seeing, I just don't get what the hook is, what's supposed to motivate me to play through all of this. And instead, I'm just left kind of confused as to how this became an entire game. Frankly, I'm a little baffled. Okay, but we came over here. I want to see what this photo op is like. Let's take a photo. What is this? Okay. It's just a picture that we can take. Okay. Beautiful. Take a picture. I have to adjust the zoom. This is like the Breath of the Wild stuff where I take this and match it up. Okay. Oh, she has a cell phone. That's That's relatable. Okay. I don't know, man. I just... I want to like... This is the thing. I want to like these games. I want to have a new game to just obsess over and play day in, day out. I want to be hyped on this. But they make it really freaking difficult when there's just not a whole lot that ties you to it. Like, this world has random enemies scattered throughout, but so far, I don't really feel the interest in the world to start exploring. And I know that's going to be a little bit more subjective than a more critical analysis of, say, item placement or boss variety, enemy variety, that type of thing. But this world, like so far, at least as they've introduced it through the demo, isn't that captivating or interesting. They say it's a treacherous land that's got all sorts of dangers and things. But when we're looking at it, like in this shot right here, I don't see it. Like, there's an old building here, but if we go in the building, what are we gonna find? Let's actually see. Okay, so we go in here.
It's all just a haze.
Okay, it's
Well, gee, Sleeping Beauty. Guess we'll never know what adventures you had in that junk shop.
okay. Open the chest. Take the Schlosselstein.
Hey, a freebie's a freebie.
Just kidding, it's a feather. That's okay. I know what a feather is. I may not get out much, but I do know that. Okay, it's a big, empty, uninhabited building with a single chest in it. Okay, 2 chests, maybe 3. I saw something glowing. Oh, a flute blossom. Yay. Okay. What is this? Arkham? I don't know what that's supposed to say. If Violet was realm where all matters, okay. Can I select it? No.
Court. My favorite.
You're not going to finish reading it?
Court, my favorite.
Oh, finish the job.
Sarcasm is not a virtue.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay. Are these the guys that work at Green Gots that everyone's upset about on Twitter? Okay, he's resistant to that. Let's go over here. Oh.
Okay. Yup. Woo. That's not doing much.
What about this? No, resistant to that too. Resistant to all of it. Okay, so this just sucks.
Okay. Nope, not working. Whew, feels like I can breathe easy all of a sudden.
I'm very happy for you.
Let's try this. No, bind.
Best things come to those who wait.
Ha.
You might want to try and avoid getting hit for a little while.
Oh, might I?
Let's try this.
Yup. Think we might need to take a step back.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Here it comes.
Stabby, stabby. We're almost there. Almost there. Sucks to suck. Okay, now a bunch of Smurfs show up. And they walk slowly in.
We're
And
not done yet?
Now there's more waves, okay?
Kill everyone?
We kill everyone. Okay.
That's it.
Okay, these guys are vulnerable to this. I much prefer that. Yeah, I will say after playing the demo one time through with this, I think that this particular weapon or spell is quite OP. It has this burst effect that humanoids are weak to, and it's just not even close. It's a little much. Boom, see, vulnerable. It's like a little broken, but it's okay.
Sorry, I stopped after the first few.
You know, we pick up their skulls.
Not much, but you never know.
No, it's a lambent cluster. A lambent cluster for the Google Snash. Awesome. Okay. And boom. And this is something you will blah. And this is something you will rinse and repeat and do repeatedly as you play through the demo and presumably through the whole game in order to clear the map and do stuff. You'll find an uninhabited building. You'll go in there, fight a mini boss and some waves of enemies, and then rinse and repeat, move on to the next thing. In this case, we have a pawn. This had a cool item, allegedly. So let's go in here and see what it is. Okay, more enemies. Sweet.
An ambush, just as I feared.
What? Why the fuck didn't you say something? Ha!
Fight them again.
The fun never stops, does it?
Okay.
Seriously? This is bullshit.
Seriously? Oh, we're serious.
You're mine. Ugh.
Okay.
Ugh. Poetry in motion.
Keep it up. Now's your chance.
Fade to black. That's the other. Okay, this is another pet peeve of mine. Again, it's just my personal opinion. I cannot stand constant fades to black. To me, it represents when a creative type doesn't know what else to do to transition a scene properly or in an interesting way. So they just fade to black. I hate it in plays. I've done a lot of plays in my day. I hate it in musicals. I hate it in TV shows. I hate it in movies. And I hate it in video games. Fade to blacks are just sucky, okay? It's just sucky. Here, guys, real quick. Yes, include us in that. Well, that's what you see. I'm coming full circle. Oh, what I need you guys to do now is put your opinion on Forspoken into the chat box, okay? I'm going to let that fill up for a second, and then I'm going to go through those real quickly. I can't promise I'll read all of them, and all of those will make it in the video, but I want to hear your very quick thoughts on the game. Or maybe that's what we should do, TB. That might work better. Why don't we do like TB did, do a Metacritic prediction for this game. What do you think this game gets on review day when, or maybe a week after review day, when everybody's reviewed it, not just the sycophants that they sent the codes to? What do you think your prediction is? Okay. I'll let you fill those in. I want to hear your predictions. I'll stall for a minute while you guys put those in, and then we'll go for it.
Just thinking, pondering, ruminating, all the big words.
Ruminating. Now, in terms of customization, that will help you kind of... Let me try that again. Now, in terms of customization, there are a handful of things you can do to be better equipped during fights. You can change your nails. Yeah, you can change your nails. I was gonna have something witty to say after that. I didn't have anything, so I just kind of sat there. But these nails can be customized right hand, left hand, basically swapping out your nail polish with Welkin clusters, fervid clusters, jibble jops, and snoogleberries, and all sorts of stuff in order to tweak stuff like all damage -5, but you get improved surge and magical recharge rates, killer blows generate a shockwave, spell damage +2. So you can really start to customize stuff. I think that's fine. It's kind of in line with like gems or maybe what was it? Was it the medallion in what game was that? I'm totally spacing on it. Oh, duh. It was God of War Ragnarok. Or it's like the medallion stuff that you can put on in God of War Ragnarok that you can upgrade and then have different combat effects and multipliers and stuff. So all sorts of good stuff here. I think the fact that it's painting your nails, yeah, it's easy to meme on and joke about, but yeah, I think it's fine. It's just a different way of presenting that classical gameplay alteration. You can change out the cloaks to various things, which will be, of course, reflected in the gameplay, and then also have actual effects to the gameplay with health, stamina, defense, healing, red magic, purple magic, all being represented here. I like that. I think that's cool. Magic stuff, you can see that there's all sorts of customization, upgrades, and different things you can do. I think this is actually pretty cool. And I think it's a bummer that the demo doesn't do a better job of showing like how you'll progress through this. In many ways, I think this demo actually doesn't do a very good job of representing what this game is able to do. And I think it might have been a mistake, but that's for somebody else to decide. I mean, one thing I will say is that the UI across the board is a little confusing. It's not super clear. Like looking at this, it just gives me a headache to figure out what's going on here. I think they could have tweaked that, but you know, who am I to say? Maybe when you play the game, it's easier to navigate and figure out. As for all of this stuff, there is a good amount of stuff to do in the demo. Lots of places to explore, and I have seen on the Reddit or the subreddit for this game, there are some people that have done like 100% of the stuff in the demo and really love it and are very excited for this game. I will say the top post on that subreddit had like 25 upvotes, so I don't think it's super active, but the people that are excited for this game seem to be very excited for it. And listen, I hope this game is awesome, but at the end of the day, all we can do is look at the information we have before us and try to come to a reasonable and rational conclusion from that. It's not our fault that the information presented to us isn't that convincing. It's on the devs and the marketing team to do better. And so I asked you guys in chat who are hanging out with me right now live on Luke Stevens Live, which you can check out linked below if you're interested. And we are... let me try that again. And I asked you guys in chat what you thought the Metacritic score of this game would be when it eventually comes out. And so far, the response is not great. Here, let me do this. I have to swap inputs so I can share my screen again. Wait for it to pop back up. Okay. Voila. Do a poll. Oh yeah, we can also do that. That's a good idea. Here, sort of poll. I'll also scroll back through this. What will this Metacritic score be? Maybe we do 90 to 100, maybe 80 to 89, 70 to 79, 60 to 69. I'll do 50 to 69. Okay. There we go. Everybody answer that poll real quick. I'll also go through your comments on this. Okay, top chat, live chat, pop out chat. Just 69, please. I mean, look at all these lovely people hanging out with us live on Luke Stevens Live. You should totally come out and hang out with us because it's a really good time and we'd love to see you. I mean, you see all this, Rocky, calm down. You see all these scores like 4 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 5 out of 10. Like realistically, it's a low 7. I would guess, Silence, I guess my prediction is on day one, the score will probably be like 7 out of 10. I think that is going to be the average score. But I think it's because they're not sending review codes to enough people to really get a wide variety of opinions. And I would guess that like a week after launch or 2 weeks after launch, the Metacritic will drop into the 6 out of 10 range, realistically. For a second, ETP, I thought you were saying 10 out of 10 is what it's going to be scored. But 10 out of 10 YouTube video would watch again. Yeah, good. I am excited for you to check this out after the fact when it goes up on Monday. Not to this game with a 50-foot pole. Can't blame you. Can't wait for her and her bracelet to say in unison, quote, I guess that's why they call it Forspoken. Dude, if that happens, I will lose it. Oh, man. I think, like, you guys are offering some very, very good takes. And in general, the opinion does not seem to be overly positive. But if we look at the poll, where I asked you guys just to put in some overarching broad thoughts, I mean, this, I think, says everything you need to see. 56%, if I move my face out of the way, 56% of people are saying that this game is going to rate between 50 and 69 out of 100. And 70 or 39% are saying it's going to be between 70 and 79. So fine, not good, not great. 5% are saying 80 to 89 and 1% are saying 90 to 100. And this, I think, represents a real negativity in the gaming sphere about this game. And this is something that, honestly, the developers and publishers needed to address and to calm the skepticism and the negativity as quickly as they could. But they just haven't. And it wouldn't have taken much. All they would realistically need to do is come out and just say, like, okay, we are going to give this to reviewers a full week early. We're going to make sure that they can show however much gameplay they want. We're going to give a 2-hour preview, final preview of the game, which a lot of other companies have been doing with games recently. All they needed to do was something like that, and it would have been fine. But instead, they're being very, very quiet and hush-hush, and that just exacerbates and exaggerates all of the concerns. And it's a real bummer to see that play out here. Because again, we all want good games. Like, we want games to be excited about. We want games to be hyped about. But when companies are putting out stuff like this, it's really hard to be optimistic about it and excited. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Forspoken looks like when it launches on the 24th. You're probably watching this right around the time reviews go up or when the game is already out. So you might know the answer to this. But as of right now, on Friday, January 20th, we don't know what's up. And so we will wait with bated breath and see. But I would not put a lot of money on this game being particularly excellent. Okay. It's January 21st. No, it's not. Wrong. You can't prove it. You can't prove it. Wrong side. Oh, no, this is my Ember. My 16 times the detail one is upstairs. I spaced it. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, not using the 16. I use it so often, even off stream when nobody's seeing, because it's how you tell real quality is what people use when they're not being watched, of course. And that 16 times the detail mug is of such high quality. I use it all the time. So, you know, gets dirty. Had to clean it. Anyway, let me wrap this up. But that's going to do it with us. Let me try that again. But that's going to do it for us here on Luke Stevens Live, making a video for the main Luke Stevens channel. If you go, blah, this is like 90% of the videos when I record them. If you want to hang out with us live, just look up in the search bar, Luke Stevens Live. You can come over, hang out with us. We're live streaming every Monday, Wednesday, Friday during the week. Live stream clips go up all the time. In case you miss the stream, you can catch up on it that way. We have a really good time. There's a ton of beautiful people out here hanging out with us today, and I would love for you to be one of them. So come say hi. Oops. And also a huge thank you to Wonder for sponsoring this video. Again, check them out at the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. But with that, much love. I'll see you in the next one. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye. There you go. Do I just ad-lib all my videos? A lot of them. Like, I have an outline for probably 95% of them. Like a spot by spot like outline of what I want to do. Oh, Discord. Oh, you Rocky, in the ad read I have a call out for the Discord because it's for Wonder, which is an app where you can like generate AI art stuff. It's pretty cool. And I asked people to share their creations on the Discord, which we have linked. So that's our Discord shout out. Way ahead of you. Do we have to watch your Forspoken video now that we've seen you record the bits for it? Imperium. I would appreciate it. We need boosters in the servers. I think I'm already boosting it twice. I think I have 2 boosters going. Oh, shoot. I closed the window. God damn it. Restore window. There we go. Okay. Yeah, man. Forspoken. What a weird thing. What a weird thing. Okay, close. Just checked. I have not gotten a review code. I just checked my emails. I was like, if I got one in the span of filming that would have been really funny. But nope, have not gotten anything. I've gotten some really obscure and random emails and review code offers, but nothing for Forspoken that I see. So, yep, nothing. Nothing. Okay. Voila. Check your spam. Okay. You're not wrong. Okay. Let's see. Ad read. Let me share this with the sponsor real quick. Settings, allow for download. Okay. So what we should do next is we're going to, I think we should probably keep building the Titanic. We're almost done with it. We are in the home stretch. So I think we should do that. There we go. So long as they approve it. Oh, Devin, thank you so much. Devin just gifted 10 memberships to the community. If you are in here right now, check that. Check. You might have just got a membership. Video is recorded and is almost done. That's the link to the ad read draft, and we will have the unlisted video to you ASAP as well. Okay, let's do this. Close that. Okay. Let me catch up on all this stuff because I know some people made some generous donations during that video recording, and I want to make sure I can see those and thank you guys for that. It's a little tricky because during the video I don't want like the sound popping off of like because it can be distracting for the people watching the video after the fact. But where did it go? It only shows me Devin's thing. I thought we were there. How many clips we on? Probably like 2 or 3, I would guess. but I'm not sure. Is there Titanic fish behind you? No, we are almost there. We have the stern to finish. Just the stern. Yeah, Devin is very, very generous. Going back to Twitch, he was always extremely generous over there too. Can I put my mic up to my keyboard? You want to restart the stream so I can download this and send it to Jacob? I have it recorded and it's going to Jacob right now. So I just ended the recording on my PC because it'll be the full resolution, higher bit rate and everything instead of just the stream bit rate. So we'll just send that version to Jacob. Devin's a certified legend. Oh yeah. You want to hear my keyboard? Now, if only I were wearing a bikini, I could be an ASMR streamer. I did see one guy who's doing ASMR on TikTok, and God bless the guy. He was this huge dude. Like, I don't know how to describe him other than saying he really did not seem like somebody who would be doing ASMR. And whatever you picture in your head is probably about accurate. I won't go into detail, but he just didn't look like the kind of guy that would do it. And he's like wearing like a white t-shirt. It's got like dipping sauce stains on it from where he's been dipping chicken nuggets or something. And he's just like at the microphone and he's just staring into the camera. It was thoroughly upsetting. Best $5,000 I've ever spent. I'm kidding. Of course I did. The king of gamers. Luke should make an OnlyFans and just post behind the scenes like we got on stream. Then I can simp. Is that a thing people do? They do like behind the scenes, but through OnlyFans? 150 for Luke to wear that. Nikocado Avocado. Dude, he's playing such a like 4D chess thing on people. It's ridiculous. Incinerated, thank you for the $5. I work armed security, cash, transport, and I drive over 300 miles a day by myself, and your videos and streams help me keep focused and entertained. Dude, that's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you. And stay safe, my goodness. But 300 miles a day. Ooh. When I worked in Denver, I was commuting probably close to 150 miles a day. And I wanted to like drive off a bridge. It was very, very tough. So I relate to that. I can appreciate that. It's not super easy. But really, really appreciate that. Jay, yeah, I'm trying to scroll up to see your super chat, but it like YouTube is not like, I can show you. This is all YouTube shows me as listed. Like, this is all YouTube gives me. It stops at Devin for some reason, even though there's definitely been more higher up, and there's nothing else. So, and if I scroll up here, it doesn't let me go any further. So if you could top chat, maybe, I don't know, if you could just let me know what it was, just comment with it, I'd appreciate that. I guess YouTube's glitching out. It's not telling me what stuff happened. It's a little annoying. Oh, now the chat is frozen. Oh, maybe. It's going to catch up slowly but surely. See, it has to catch up. It's like real time, but sped up. Okay, well, we'll let that catch up for a minute. Let's see. That's what OnlyFans was originally intended for. That would make sense with the term OnlyFans. That's really funny. I remember him once seeing him being so fat caused him to break a rib. I called BS because I never heard of someone being so fat they cracked a rib. I think I've heard of that. I think because I went through a period where I watched like a ton of is it My 600? I think it's My 600 Pound Life is what it's called. And I don't know why I went through, like, I binged it. I binged like 5 seasons in the span of a month or two. And there were some stories and some stuff you see on that show where you're like, oh my God. It's a different way of life, for real. Let's see. Jay, did you put it back in? Let's see. I said it feels like they took a character from the new Saints Row game and put them in this world. Kinda. Yeah. It's like they think that it's relatable. And that's what we said with Saints Row, is that they think that this really cringy, ultra sarcastic, like pessimistic attitude is relatable to the young people. And it's just infuriating. Like, it's just annoying. And I used to think, like, where are they getting this? Why do they think that's relatable? And then I realized, oh, it's because those people are the ones making the games. The people making the games are fresh out of art school, talk, dress, and act like that. And so they do think that's relatable because it's relatable to them. But for a normal, well-adjusted person, that's not. It's not. And I only realized that once I met somebody at a like a college job fair who was looking for work, of course, and they were like straight out of the new Saints Row. That hadn't come out yet. This was a few years ago, but they were exactly like that. Like, they wore ridiculous clothes, looked crazy, like they were trying to be really, really fashion forward. They spent ridiculous amounts of money on, you know, they were, I think this girl was like 27 or 26 or something. She was getting her master's in, like, I think it was like creative writing or something. And she was already doing like regular Botox, lip injections. Like, I don't know what her deal was. She looked great as she was. Like, I don't know why she felt the need to do that. It was really kind of sad that she felt the need to alter her appearance that heavily. But she was doing all of this stuff. And meanwhile, she just also had a terrible personality. And she was just a nasty person. And then I realized, like, oh, this is the kind of person that's writing the new Saints Row. This is the kind of person that's writing these new video games and TV shows and movies that have all these unlikable characters. And it's because they really do think that's relatable, because they're like that. And then it all clicks together. I'm like, oh, that's why. So, anyway, low self-esteem. Well, that's why I'm like, I feel bad when I see somebody who's young, especially who's like doing the lip filler thing. I just kind of feel bad, because I'm like, no, you look great. Like, stop it. You don't need that. Like, because I get it. Like, if you need to, like, Botox, for example, Botox can actually help with migraines. It is an actual thing. People who suffer from like consistent migraines, they can get Botox, and it actually has been shown scientifically to reduce migraines, which is kind of cool. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's that it just relaxes stuff so that you don't furrow your brow more, and that causes you to relax and you don't have migraines as much. I really don't know why it works, but I've seen that multiple times, that that Botox has been proven to reduce migraines. But a lot of people, like, if you're an LA Valley girl or Valley boy and you are like 25 and you're getting Botox regularly, I'm not sure I believe you if you tell me that it's for your migraines. You know? I'm not sure I buy that. But I feel bad, because I'm like, you're in your 20s. You don't need to do that stuff. Come on. If you're 60 and that makes you feel better about yourself, okay. Like, who am I to judge you? But when you're like 20, it just, to me, it screams that you're trying to, I don't know. There's something more going on. Let's see. Blame Hollywood female celebrities for that and America's unrealistic beauty standards. Yeah. Still waiting for Luke's review on Midnight Suns. Yeah. So I kind of offhandedly mentioned it. Offhandedly mentioned it earlier in the stream, but so Marcus, one of our mods, asked for Midnight Suns as his mod gift, because I said to my mods who do some amazing work that I would buy the mods a game to thank them for all of the work they've been doing. So just tell me what game you want and I'll buy it for you. He asked for Midnight Suns, lives in the UK though. So I just gifted through Xbox a copy of that and sent it to him. Apparently if you're a US Xbox account, it sends it to, yeah, mod gifts, you say, wait, what? They know. They're not fooling anybody. They know. According to all of this, like or anyway, I sent the code, didn't work. He's in the UK, I'm in the US. So I just have a spare Midnight Suns Xbox code laying around that I can't really use. And I don't really have time to use it. So I just have that. Yeah, oops. Yeah, I'm sensing a pattern of Luke not reading the fine print and not checking the details and stuff. So I guess all of this to say, if I think we'll open it up probably to members first. If you're a member and you really want Midnight Suns for the Xbox and you happen to be in the US, send me a DM on Discord. Well, first let me know in the comments or in the chat, and then I'll cross-reference that in the Discord to make sure it's you. Will the code work on PC? I don't think so, but I don't know how the Xbox Play Anywhere thing works. Because what it is an Xbox Series X code for Midnight Suns. But I don't know if it's something that you can then use through the Xbox app. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, I have so many Red Bulls in the fridge. It's ridiculous, by the way. It's like an actual problem. Oh, goodness. Okay, anyway, let's move on. Moving on. Move along. My whole YouTube feed has started getting filled with videos of Brendan Fraser, and I'm not bad about it. I'm not mad. I'm kind of okay with it. The complete evolution of Harry Potter video games. Okay, so I actually got an emulated copy of the Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup game. I have not gotten it working with a controller yet, so I have to work on that, but I'm figuring that out. But I do want to play that for a video because a lot of people say that it's the best Harry Potter game. Everyone in chat, though, if you guys have played any Harry Potter stuff, what is the best and what is the worst Harry Potter game of all time? According to you, in your opinions, what do you think? Put that in chat. I want to know. What do you think is the best Harry Potter game? What's the worst one? I can look into it. Yeah, Rocky, I haven't tried it today. I mean, I guess I could actually boot it up and try it right now. Let's just, why not, right? Why not? Oop, where'd my mouse go? And my mouse is gone. Okay, wait, boop. So you see like this, I get to here, but my controller doesn't want to cooperate. And so I try to go over here, controllers, configure, I do this, it doesn't detect it, refresh. I select this, but it still is not detecting the controller. And so I'm like, okay, maybe refresh. Still isn't detecting it. Still isn't detecting it. I have no profiles loaded. It's really weird. Still nothing, nothing. The keyboard routed things, so like I can hit, if I go back to keyboard, now I can hit X. No, I can't. Wait, refresh. If I hit OK, now I go over here. I can do this to select it. Okay, maybe I can't. See, the whole thing is just really, really screwy. And I don't know why. See, I can hit that now, but I can't go up and down. I don't, like, the controller just doesn't work. So I don't know what the deal is. I asked Jacob to look into it too, and we're trying to figure it out. Let's see. Let me go through this. Let me go through the comments real quick. What are you guys saying? There's the fact that there's no Quidditch in the new game is criminal. Yeah, well, apparently, so I heard recently somebody that worked on the game, and they said that in the early stages, it was one of the goals. They said we were going to do that. So they started working it. They apparently had a prototype working in the game. But they just decided it wasn't necessary for them to focus on it if they wanted to do everything else in the game. And they thought that Quidditch could be better served through a multiplayer game, which I agree with. Imagine if they dropped, kind of like Multiverses, if they just dropped a free-to-play Quidditch game that you could play multiplayer. Dude, that would sell gangbusters. Sell. I mean, people would download it and play it like crazy. And then they sell like custom uniforms, custom hats, custom broomsticks, all sorts of stuff. They make so much money. Exclusive arenas, like, oh, you want to do, like, you want to play Quidditch in the big arena from, what was it? The Goblet of Fire. You want to do that? Well, that's like a $20 expansion. You know, like, they would sell so much money, and they would get so many cosmetics sold as a result of that. It would be amazing. And like I said, I would be shocked if they haven't already greenlit that, because to me it just makes sense, right? I mean, why wouldn't they? Easy money. Easy money. I want to sit like, this is my natural comfy spot. So let me, come on, headphone cable, work with me. Work with me. How's that? Oh, that's much better. Okay. Rocket League, but Harry Potter. Kinda. I think Quidditch is a big enough game / franchise. I think you could be very successful with it. I buy Quidditch expansion. Well, that or they do it as an expansion. But I think they want to do multiplayer, in which case they just release it as a standalone thing. But they make so much money doing that, bro. It would be ridiculous. Why not? YouTuber Flanger made a great video series comparing the Harry Potter games across all the consoles. That one, I also have this one from Retro pulled up. That's like 40 minutes long. But basically, I want to be able to go through these, and I want to keep working on the Lego Titanic while we do it. What key and fill light do you use in your studio, Luke? You can see the exact studio stuff, even down to the lenses, linked in the link tree under my setup. So if you click on that, you can see all of the individual pieces, which will be more accurate than me just rattling them off. But I use Amaran lights, including a mini dome 2 with the honeycomb right up here. And then back here, I have a bunch of other Amaran 100Ds. Oh. I have to go sign for a package. I'll be right back. Oh, geez. Give me a second. Oh, God. It's the PlayStation thing. False alarm. We are unionizing. Not on my watch. Okay, I'm gonna do it, whatever. I ran all the way up there. It was a false alarm. The Ring doorbell read a car driving by as that. DMs. Hold on. Um, Kunal, thank you. 3 months in a row. What are your thoughts about the recent news on layoffs at 343? I mean, in general, we're going to see a ton of layoffs across the board. It's not, I mean, PlayStation's going to start laying people off. I bet that gets less attention. But yeah, I mean, it's just, we're headed into a recession. All the business leaders know this. And so I don't think it's that scandalous. DualSense X download. Okay, hold on. Download here for DualSense. Okay. Downloading. Weird. It's not doing anything. Okay. Anyway, I'll mess with it. Thank you, Rocky. I will work on that. But yeah, I mean, it's all of the biggest business leaders know that we're headed into a recession, so they're starting to downscale and downsize. So 10, 12,000 employees being laid off within these huge companies is pretty normal before a recession. It's still horrible. It still sucks. And I feel for those people. And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot more. So a lot of people are going to be losing their jobs pretty soon. It sucks, but it's just what happens when a company expands a ton when interest rates are low and money is cheap. And then when rates go back up, all of a sudden it's really expensive to keep all those people. And so they get rid of them and downscale. So they take like 3 steps forward by growing really big. And then they take 1 step back, laying off 10,000 people, but they still are ahead. So, but anyway. Yeah, Alphabet also. Yeah. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, they announced a huge set of layoffs as well. So, yeah. But also with these huge tech companies like Microsoft and Alphabet, a lot of it is that they are panicking because they've been resting on the laurels of their tech monopoly for a long time. And AI is about to shove all of that out the window. Like a good AI algorithm will make Google basically useless by comparison. Like the ability to just ask like a virtual assistant. I dropped my fidgety thing. You'll be able to just ask a virtual assistant, can you explain to me, say, the origins of the Catholic Church? And it won't just Google like an article and then give you a paragraph highlight of the article. It will actually explain it to you. Like in a unique way. And theoretically, the more it uses or the more it's used by you, the more they will be able to tailor the responses to you. So if you're somebody who needs things explained very, very precisely, it can be trained to do that. Whereas if you're somebody who just needs broad strokes, they can do that. If you like big words in your explanations that are much more precise for what it's communicating, it can do that. If you want it dumbed down a little, you can do that. Like it's going to be far more effective than anything Google's currently got going on. And we will see. How will the recession affect LeBron's legacy? I don't know. Luke, yesterday, I don't know if you got the whole story, but Mark Hamill really quit being Joker after Kevin Conroy passing. Makes me think of a line, crime has no punchline without Batman. I would actually believe that. I think he's spoken so highly of Kevin Conroy that I don't think he'd want to play the Joker across anybody else. I think he's like, you know what? I've taken the character where I can. I feel good. I don't need to keep doing it. But advanced AI, we are definitely headed into a dystopian future. It's just, I feel like we've arrived here all of a sudden and no lawmakers, no ethicists, none of these people have actually considered the implications of it. Like the idea that AI can just like replace creative writing. They can replace painters. They can replace graphic designers, pretty soon they're going to replace most jobs within video game development. Like, it's going to be insane. Like, the whole world is about to go upside down. And now people are starting to kind of pick up on it, but I don't think anybody's really processed it, you know? Like, technically, there will come a time where somebody can just train an AI bot using these videos of me on YouTube and these live streams. It will be able to talk just like me, creating sound output just like me, use my exact same verbiage, vocal structure and stride. It'll sound identical to me. They'll be able to do a visual representation that looks just like me, same mannerisms, everything. And honestly, you probably wouldn't be able to tell, which is a little horrifying. That's why you're going to need to like have governmental regulations that set this stuff up. But the biggest thing for me that kind of freaks me out, by the way, thank you, Crothy Edits, for the membership. Thank you. I appreciate you. The biggest thing that concerns me with all of that is that it's like the deep fakes. If somebody runs for office, for example, who's to say like you couldn't just make a deep fake of that person doing something horrible, like committing some sex crime or drug related crime, and it'll be indistinguishable from reality. How are you going to be able to tell the difference? Like, I don't know. It's pretty freaky, you know, because like eventually I'm sure there's going to be, you could have like an AI to figure this stuff out and like show me doing something horrible on stream, and it'd be able to replicate it perfectly. And like, you probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference between reality and the fake ones, you know? Anyway, yeah, not to kill your vibe too much. Let's look at some Harry Potter stuff. Zippity zappity do. And lighten up with that. Luke is sweating. This union is getting hot. Yes, nut job. Yes, nut job. I will warn you guys, if you're going to unionize as a chat, you probably want to have a spokesperson that doesn't go by the name nut job. It's a bad look. Anyway, what did you guys say with regards to best Harry Potter game? Hold on, I want to check that. I'm checking. Hogwarts Quidditch. We already talked about that. Best Prisoner of Azkaban, worst Deathly Hallows 2. Harry Potter 2 for the PC is goated. Chamber of Secrets on PS2 is also my favorite. Prisoner of Azkaban. Okay, so the Prisoner of Azkaban game people are saying is the best. Harry Potter Order of the Phoenix was out of this world in the PS2 era. I always just assumed the games were terrible. Best Quidditch World Cup, worst probably the Kinect game. There was a Harry Potter Kinect game? Hold up. A Harry Potter Kinect game. I have to see this. Harry Potter Kinect. For the Kinect full playthrough.
Half inches, a good strong wand. Tricky customer, eh? Elm and unicorn hair, 10 inches. Quite whippy. Try it. No.
And copyright strike. Calm down. You can join the Discord just with that link tree in the description box. Just click on that, and then it'll take you to a list of links, and Discord is one of them. And join that way. We'd love to have you.
No.
Year one. I saw somebody say there's no way you could do a Quidditch version or a Quidditch mode poorly. I think this is how you do it poorly. Like, to fight, lift your arm. So like you're gonna be playing Quidditch, just I'm winning. I don't think they allowed punching. I think they shoved, but I don't think you can punch people. Like, am I wrong? I don't think punching is allowed in Quidditch. I think that's considered too much. Okay, so that is a rough mode. Oh, and then you have to go and plant mandrakes. Oh. Look at these models. Oh, they all look so weird. Okay, then we have the dueling club.
Harry Potter wins.
So it's 2 hours and it
Harry
goes through
learns that
all the
Ginny
years.
Weasley has been taken to the chamber.
Funny the damage a silly little book can do, especially in the hands of a silly little girl.
Can we do a segment where you help everyone get their girl, or help everyone with their girl problems or how to get one, asking for a friend? Like 95% of getting a girlfriend or boyfriend is confidence. And I know what you're thinking, but Luke, I'm not confident. Okay. There's a couple routes you can go. One, you fake it till you make it. If you honestly just struggle with it, pretend to be an actor or an actress and just present yourself as very confident. And people can't tell the difference between pretending to be confident and confident. They appear the same. And pretty soon you'll start to see that people treat you different and everybody starts liking you more and wanting to hang out with you because you're so confident. They're like, this person's magnetic. No, they're just confident. It's pretty straightforward. You just you'll start to believe it all of a sudden because you become confident based on the way people treat you when you're pretending to be confident. So I would say just pretend to be confident. That's what I did. I was a chess nerd for years. And then I just started doing theater and stuff. And I was like, I'll just act really confident. Because really, I'm very anxious and nervous. And all of a sudden, people started treating me like I was very confident. And I liked it. And that made me confident. So, I just faked it till I made it. And then, you're set. But if that doesn't work, and if you don't think you can do that, then I would say just find something you're confident in, double down on that, and focus on how that feels to be confident in that, and start to gain confidence or try to work to gain confidence in other fields, whether that's conversation, telling funny stories to your friends, whatever it is. Just find ways you can build confidence in other areas of your life, little by little. But the easiest route is just fake it till you make it. And then one day you'll wake up and you're very confident, and it's great. That's what I'd say. Also, don't overthink shit. Yeah, that's a lot of it. Women and men both just want companions who know who they are and are confident enough in themselves. Insecurity is one of the biggest turnoffs for humans. And it probably goes back to early evolutionary days where we're looking for a mate because we're just apes swinging through trees. And we're like, I need a mate. I want somebody to protect me, or maybe for, one side, it's I need somebody to protect me. And then the other side is I want somebody to give me child while I hunt and things. And that requires confidence on both sides and security and the self-consciousness of like, oh, I don't know, maybe not, very indecisive. If you were an indecisive monkey swinging through trees, sorry, ape, you would die. So it wasn't considered attractive. So I think it's like a deep down primal thing that we have as an aversion to a lack of confidence, which is why you should just fake it until you make it. And then you'll realize you're confident. You will feel like $1 million. People will treat you like $1 million, and your life will be great. Super Ninja, I'm sorry. Ooga booga. So much for being evolved. Oh yeah, no, humans are not as evolved as we would like to think we are, I'm sure. As for others, I mean, honestly, I'm somewhat impressed that they went through and recreated all these set pieces from all the movies. That's kind of cool. Like, yeah, each movie is only 15 minutes, 20 minutes long. But I mean, it's not bad. I've seen worse like adaptations of set pieces. But dude, 2 hours of doing this and flailing around, that's a workout. I'd actually be interested in how many calories doing something like this burns. Probably a lot, right? Jan, tell her you lead a dictatorship in a YouTube community and your biggest bootlicker is Kermit with teeth. If that doesn't make her fall in love with you, nothing will. There you go. That's awesome. With enough cocaine, anything is possible for 15 minutes. Is Harry Potter natty? Have you been recommended those TikToks? Oh, the montage of Cedric Diggory is horrible. Did they not get rights to his likeness or something?
Cedric, the Tri-Wizard Cup is a portkey that takes them to a graveyard where they encounter Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, see, this was one of those things. Oh, dude, it's just splooging on the ground. This was one of those moments where it's like, okay, maybe Kinect is not actually a very good way to play games. Like, it was a cool concept, but in practice, it's horrible. But nobody, like, thinks through that. Also, this represents, like, him losing health and taking damage, but these are, like, emoji hearts, like, splurting out of his picture. That looks horrible. That looks horrible. What's my favorite Harry Potter movie? I like the slower ones later on, like Order of the Phoenix I really like. I do really like Prisoner of Azkaban. I think that one, just in terms of cinematography, is badass. It just, I mean, it's just a very impressive film. Looks super good. Looks like the games that the Sims play in Sims 4. Kinda, actually. You're not wrong. But okay. Let's see. I can't believe we found a union and Chad immediately picked a single leader. Or formed a union. Yeah, I mean, you know what? When it's right, it's right. You know? I can respect it. What do I think of Fantastic Beasts? I think they really underestimated how important Hogwarts was as a character in the films. I think they thought that they could just take the stories anywhere. But you notice, like in the later films, especially Order of the Phoenix Part 1, when they leave Hogwarts, the films don't feel right. There's just something weird about them. And I really do think it is that Hogwarts is more of a character in that series than people give it credit for. The location is very, very important. And to take it out of Hogwarts, I think loses a little bit of... Oh, what did I say? I meant Deathly Hallows Part 1. What did I say? Probably something stupid. I thought I said that. That's what I meant. But yeah, I think they like going Fantastic Beast mode and taking it outside and just to London doesn't really click right. You said Order of the Phoenix Part. Oh yeah, I meant Deathly Hallows Part 1. That's what I was thinking at least. But Deathly Hallows Part 1, they take it out of Hogwarts and you're running around trying to find all the Horcruxes and stuff, and it just didn't fit right. It didn't feel right. Whereas when they went back to Hogwarts, all of a sudden it really tied everything together. And so I really don't know if you can have a successful Harry Potter quote unquote movie in that universe without Hogwarts being the focus of the locations. But that being said, I also don't know how they're going to do a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy where they keep it within Hogwarts, unless they can really crank up like the simulation elements, make it so you can go and like it's much more free going to classes, you know, stuff like that. I don't know how they do that, but I'm sure they have some ideas. I'm watching Harry Potter movies for the first time now. Don't shame me. No, better late than never. We were shaming Mr. Matty Plays because he still has not seen all of them, and he's making videos on Hogwarts Legacy. And we're like, dude, you got to watch it. You got to watch it. Favorite Zelda game? Murdoch asks 12 times. Oh, how did I not see that? I don't know. But favorite Zelda game, the only one I've played all the way through is Breath of the Wild, so I'll say that. Potter versus Rings. As a film franchise, I think Harry Potter. But as like a story and like books, Lord of the Rings. That's what I would say. Like Harry Potter just did such a good job of the base films of tying everything together that I think I would say that. If you are factoring in The Hobbit as part of like the 6 film series of Lord of the Rings, I don't know if you can compare them, you know. Because The Hobbit was just weird, especially the last one. I thought one, whatever I forget the subtitles, but The Hobbit Part 1 was good. I thought it set things up really well. The Part 2, Desolation of Smaug, I thought was good. It really felt bloated. I felt like they could have tied that into the end of the first film and been fine. It was clear they were milking it. And then 3, it was just like, stuff was CGI that didn't need to be CGI, and it was just kind of weird. So that's my opinion. That's my humble opinion. But when you watch all the Harry Potter movies through, like the journey you go on is ridiculous. It's pretty impressive. They did a very good job with it. Anyway, let's go through the complete evolution of Harry Potter games 2001 to 2023 and see what they look like back in the day and what we look like now. So we're going to check that out. Crafty, myself and my son love your content. Biggest respect. Oh, thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. Say hi to your son. That's awesome. I hate to say it, but I think we're nerds. I think so too, Webbo. I think so. I got so baked and watched those games. They're pretty stellar stone. I believe it. Okay, let's check this out. And I'm going to keep going through the Lego Titanic. Buckle up. Here we go. We're going to see what this is like. Because I was a sheltered kid growing up. I didn't get to see or play any of these games. In fact, anytime Harry Potter came up in conversation, it was considered satanic. No, I'm not joking. So I have not seen any of this stuff. I was not allowed to look at it. Was not allowed to talk about it. If we had friends that were really into Harry Potter, we had to stop hanging out with those friends. So this is all new to me. I have not seen any of this, and I'm relatively interested. So if you have any fun stories playing these older games, if you remember them, if they're a throwback, let me know in the comments. I'm interested in your insights, okay? Because like I said, I've never seen it.
More than 30 Harry Potter video game titles across PC, handhelds, home consoles.
Oh, dude. Look at that. EA made it? Of course they did.
And mobile devices. There have been major partnerships with key companies like Lego, experimental titles using the Xbox Kinect and PlayStation Move, and of course, there are the mainline titles that coincided with each new movie release. People of the internet, Retro Raconteur here. I'm just a dad who loves games and the stories they tell, and this is the complete history of the Harry Potter video games.
The choices you make now will define the legacy of Hogwarts.
Even that little bit of the trailer they showed just there looks way worse than the one they released recently. This video is like a year old, so that must be an old clip. And just so you guys know, move stuff out of the way. This is what we're on. So this first bit we're going to be building right here. And then the back of the ship, the stern, is what we're going to be taking on after that. So we have 7 bags for this first bit, and then we have 9 bags for the last bit. But when it's all done, we will have the full ship completed with 2 bags to complete the finishing touches to tie it all together. So buckle up. We're probably not finishing this today. I think this is probably going to go through next Wednesday. This has taken us like 3 weeks to build. It's been a bit of a process, but here we go. I'm also going to set up our Lego cam so you can see what I'm working on as I do it. Voila. It's also the cleavage cam, the CC. Did you know that's what CCTV stands for? Cleavage cam TV. Yeah. This is our CCTV feed right there. Still think you should get all Jack and Rose minifigures, stick it on the battleship. I think we should, yeah. No, I think so too. They'd have to be like the mini figures, like the ones in the back of the Hogwarts castle, to be like proportional, but I totally agree we should do that. I think that'd be super, super funny. What's the longest, hardest Lego build we've worked on? This one's long and this one's a lot, but the Lego Coliseum is worse. It's less pieces than this. I think it's like 7,000 or 8,000 pieces, but it is extremely tedious because all of the pieces look the same and you end up basically just building the same part like 15 times. And then it like goes all the way around the circumference of the building. So it's just a lot of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, which makes it really, really tedious. Whereas at least with the Lego Titanic, it's pretty varied. Like there's a lot of different things. You have to build the hull differently depending on where on the ship you are because different rooms were in different places. But as for like the Lego Coliseum, it's tough. That one's tough. Etsy might have some. Yeah, I'll have to check it. Oh yeah, Rocky. Of course I love you. Of course. I love you so much. I love Rocky so much. Legos are very expensive. Oh, dude, Lego. As a company, Lego has just been cranking the prices. But like part of it is that they realized that adults who have expendable income will buy the really fancy sets, so they started building those out. And people like me love them because I like Legos, but I'm not going to pay $100 for like a 100-piece set, a tiny little thing. But if it's a huge set that takes a lot of work and is really satisfying to put together, then I'm willing to pay more for that. But I'm not going to do like, I think the value proposition for a lot of Lego sets is like ridiculous. And then it gets a little less ridiculous. It's still very expensive, but it's less ridiculous. Whereas like for anything under 200, I think you're kind of burning a lot of extra cash because they just fill, like the sets aren't very big. They're not that complicated. They're really easy to put together. Yeah, it's just kind of underwhelming bummer.
Many think of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone as being the first HP video game. However, that title actually belongs to Lego creator Harry Potter.
Oh, dude, that looks awesome. I loved these old Lego games. We were allowed to play those, like Lego Island. We played that one. I never played the Harry Potter one. But these old school, like late 90s, early 2000s Lego games, dude, those were built different.
The game was developed for PC by Superscape and published by LEGO Software in 2001. Being a LEGO game, it's no surprise it focused heavily on building and player creation. It contained 4 different worlds, including Diagon Alley, King's Cross Station, the Hogwarts grounds, and Hogwarts itself. The characters were modeled after LEGO's Harry Potter sets at the time, which have certainly seen some changes over the years.
Look at that.
As far as how the game actually played, the animation was stiff and a bit wonky at times. But it's easy to see how kids who love LEGO and Harry Potter would be intrigued by the game. When it comes to the actual release date, information available online today is surprisingly inconclusive. I found dates ranging from March 21st to October 26th.
Look at that frame rate, though.
2001. All of them do seem to agree, however, that it was not only the first Harry Potter video game released, but also the first licensed Lego video game ever released as well. Now, there had been Lego games before, but this marked the first time Lego worked with a third-party franchise. Seeing just how much Lego's video...
It's like they couldn't afford the extra triangles to make the geometry of the Lego sets reflected with the little circle dots, so they had to put them in textures instead of actually putting it on there. That's hilarious.
Game business has grown today makes it quite a fascinating footnote to history that it all started with Harry Potter.
Super! I think Malfoy is beginning to regret his naughtiness now. Just once more!
2001 was a huge turning point for the Harry Potter franchise as the first film was released to the world along with a video game. The video game launched on the PC, Sony PlayStation, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance in November of 2001.
Look at those glasses. Those look like weird 3D glasses. That's so funny. And I always find it interesting going back to these older games because you see how they had to save memory and save on like how their triangle counts and different things. And so like for the glasses, they couldn't do the little bitty cutouts for them because that would have been too fine a detail to put in. So instead they just did this kind of rectangle over his eyes, and then they tried to, I guess, make it translucent in the spots where it wasn't supposed to be, but it just didn't look right. So it looks like he's wearing a yellow visor, you know, like one of those really weird like Gucci sunglasses. But I mean, it's not the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but it's certainly a look.
Philosopher's Stone is the game many fans think of when remembering the origins of the Harry Potter series in video games. One of the most interesting notes about the first game is just how different the versions were. The PC game was developed by No Wonder, while Argonaut Games handled the PlayStation version. Aside from technical aspects such as resolution and frame rate, modern gamers would probably find it bizarre for a single title to play so differently across platforms. But not only did these titles play differently, they were built completely differently as well. The PC version put players in control of Harry after his arrival at Hogwarts. The game used a third-person perspective and had players learning new spells by attending classes and solving simple puzzles throughout the castle. Despite Hogwarts being somewhat open for exploration, the missions were fairly straightforward and linear. Spells in the game included Flipendo, the video game version of the knockback Jinx, along with Alohomora, Wingardium Leviosa, Lumos, and Incendio. The spells were contextual, and while they could be cast at any time by the player, they would only react to specific objects in the game. Most of the spells behaved as you would expect, with the exception of Lumos, which revealed hidden platforms rather than acting as a charm to light a wizard's wand like we see in the books and movies. The PlayStation version was also third-person, but the story did not follow the same order as the PC version. There were also different gameplay elements and scenes that weren't featured in the PC game. Sure, there were plenty of similarities, including the fact that both games managed to include Quidditch and Wizard cards as collectibles. As for the handheld versions, even though the Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games were both developed by Kryptonite Games, they too played rather differently. The Game Boy Color title was an RPG and seemingly inspired by games like Pokemon and Final Fantasy. The GBA version was a top-down puzzle game instead. Overall, the games received fairly middling review scores, although there was a clear nod to the Game Boy Color version being the best, at least in the eyes of video game journalists. Given the popularity of the series as a whole, though, it's no surprise the game sold well. Philosopher's Stone was the top-selling PC game in the month of December 2001. In February of 2002, the NPD Group listed it as the third highest-selling PC game of the previous year with more than 800,000 copies sold. This was despite the fact that it didn't release until November. The game would go on to sell well above 1 million copies for PC. The PlayStation version was even better, with absolutely massive sales numbers of more than 8 million copies sold, which actually make it the 6th best-selling PlayStation title of all time. I was unable to find sales numbers for the Game Boy Color version, but the GBA version did quite well, selling just shy of 700,000 copies by August of 2006. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets released in November of 2002, once again alongside the film, and once again with multiple versions. No Wonder was back for the PC version, although this time they would also release for Mac as well. Argonaut Games tackled the PS1 version, EA UK worked on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox versions, Eurocom developed a version for Game Boy Advance, which left Kryptonite with just the Game Boy Color version this go-round. That's right, 5 different versions of the game, and honestly, even the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 versions had a few differences between them as well. For starters, the GameCube version was the only one to support a special feature that allowed players to access a secret room if they connected to the Game Boy Advance version using a GameCube GBA link cable. And despite more technical power in the GameCube and Xbox, neither of those versions permitted players to roam freely across the grounds and to land anywhere using the free flight mode, which was possible on the PS2 version. Other than that, these console versions were very similar in
Can you imagine if it was like that today? Where you just randomly can't go to places? Oh, where did you play Hogwarts Legacy? Oh, I played it on the Xbox. Oh, so you didn't get to go to Diagon Alley? Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, that's a bummer. Should have bought it for PlayStation. Can you just imagine if that was a thing? People would lose their freaking minds. Can't even... Oh, dude. It'd be insane. Respawn is making an FPS Star Wars game. Yeah. Haven't heard like anything about it, but yeah. Lucky Trapped. All right, y'all. Have a great rest of your morning, day, or night. Got a dip for the day. Peace. Good to see you, my friend. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming by. What I never got about Harry Potter is what would it matter if Voldemort won? The whole thing is like he would basically install himself as emperor. They'd use the dark magic. Blah, blah, blah. Like... It would turn into a dictatorship, basically, where he and all of the other Death Eaters are in control, and that probably would not be too great. Yeah, the other thing, he also really hated mixed bloods and mudbloods. So anybody who, like, mixed the blood of a wizard with muggle blood would probably be executed and stuff like that. Whole hierarchy and tier system of those the muggles, and then the wizarding world would take over. So I can kind of get it.
Featured a Hogwarts castle that provided a little more freedom than the PC game. Wizard cards also made a return, as did Bertie Bott Every Flavor Beans. Here they also introduced a Lost Items bulletin board, which was found in the Gryffindor Common Room. These items were hidden in various locations throughout the school and along the Hogwarts grounds. For each item found, players were rewarded with a famous Witch or Wizard card. The PC version was a direct sequel to No Wonder's version of Philosopher's Stone. The graphic style and character models were mostly the same, although there was a definite improvement to the way the game controlled on mouse and keyboard. Some spells learned in the first game were retained, but players took classes to learn new spells as well. The puzzles and overall flow of the game were also improved compared to the first, yet it once again played out very differently than the console versions. Argonaut's version for PlayStation can be looked at as a direct sequel to the Philosopher's Stone version of the game that they made for PS1. Some areas of Hogwarts were expanded upon from the first game or moved slightly, although the models and graphics were mostly the same. They did introduce some new minigames and other slight gameplay improvements. Kryptonite once again went with an RPG style for the Game Boy Color version, while Eurocom made an adventure-style, puzzle-driven game for GBA. Critics appeared marginally more pleased with Chamber of Secrets when compared to Philosopher's Stone, but not by much. Most publications scored the GameCube and Xbox version slightly higher than the PS2 version, but this wasn't true across the board. It's also important to keep in mind there weren't nearly as many game reviews posted then as there are today. To put it into perspective, Metacritic only has 8 scores for the PC version and only 16 for the PS2 version. Compare that to a recently released modern third-party title like Deathloop, for example, and you'll see that the PS5 version has more than 100 critical reviews at the time of this recording. Sales for Chamber of Secrets were incredibly...
Still hyped. Deathloop sucks. Imperium, I sent you something in Discord if you want to watch after this video. It is Harry Potter related. Okay. Yeah, if we have time. I'm totally down. I told Nikki I would wrap this up, or this stream up a little bit earlier than normal, but I did say that on like Wednesday or Monday, and I think we ended up going the full length, so we'll see if I actually end up doing that. But yes, thank you. And if we don't get to it today, we can loop back to it next week. That's fine.
Strong yet again. In fact, when all of the versions are combined, the News and Observer reports more than 9 million copies were sold. LEGO would also release LEGO Creator Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets in 2002. Although a sequel to the first LEGO Creator Harry Potter game, this one wasn't developed by Superscape. Cube Software worked on the project, and it was published by EA and LEGO Interactive. The sequel built upon the first game by including more models, worlds, and minifigures. With no Harry Potter film scheduled for release in 2003, that presented a unique opportunity for WB and EA that holiday season.
Dude, Lego had a unique talent for making some freaking ugly games early on. Like, wow. That's unreal. Looks as good as the new Pokemon game.
Rather than releasing a title
bad.
based
That's
on a
bad.
book for a not yet released movie, they instead opted to release a spin-off game in the form of Harry Potter Quidditch World Cup. Quidditch World Cup was a deep dive into a fan-favorite pastime of the wizarding world. Even though there weren't any new movies that year, the Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire book released just a few years prior in the year 2000. Of course, one of the standout scenes and world-building moments of this installment in the series was Harry attending the Quidditch World Cup. The game started out simple enough, with players choosing one of the 4 Hogwarts house teams and learning through a series of exhibition matches, challenges, and ultimately playing in the Hogwarts Quidditch Cup against the other house teams. Quidditch World Cup did a fantastic job with the small details like including actual names of players and students fans would recognize from the books. After winning the Hogwarts Cup, players unlocked the World Cup, and that's where things really got interesting. England, the United States, Japan, Germany, France, Australia, the Nordic team, Spain, and Bulgaria were all available, although Bulgaria had to be unlocked. In an interesting design choice, both the Hogwarts Cup and the World Cup are actually determined by points and not wins. This meant that the team with the highest point total after all games were played is actually the team that would be crowned champion, which may not necessarily be the team with the most wins. Even though the gameplay was a radical departure from previous...
It's like the Electoral College. Politics. Oh, God.
Harry Potter video games, critical reception was mostly the same, with reviews averaging around 70%. The PC, GameCube, Xbox, and PS2 versions were developed by EA UK. However, there was also a GBA version, developed by Magic Pockets, that, unsurprisingly, played quite a bit differently. This version didn't review nearly as well, though, as the full-fledged console versions. With the incredible sales numbers of the original release of Philosopher's Stone, it's no surprise WB attempted to capitalize on the success for a new generation of systems. In December 2003, developer Warthog Games would release yet another version of Philosopher's Stone, but this time for Sony's PlayStation 2, Nintendo's GameCube, and Microsoft's Xbox. This version reused many of the assets from 2002's console version of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and the gameplay is similar. Yet again, though, it proved to be quite a different experience from the PC and PS1 version.
Oh, yeah. You remember when games used to just leave the button prompts on screen? They would just leave it there for like 20 hours of gameplay. Like, oh, they won't notice. They'll get used to it. Now, like... it's considered cool. I just have bags of Legos all around. Now it's considered like hype and cool to make your screen like really minimalistic. Don't show anything if you can help it. But back in the day, man, they used to just, yeah, we'll just put up all of the button prompts. AC1, yeah. Yeah. How many versions of Philosopher's Stone are there? Many. I miss those old quirks. It's quirky. It's quirky.
Versions that came before. This remake had a story that followed the film much more closely, but reviewed slightly lower than the Philosopher's Stone versions that preceded it. In the summer of 2004, it was back to a traditional release, with Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban hitting theaters and yet another movie tie-in game to release alongside.
Yeah, the PS2 version looks way better. Look at that.
No wonder made the piece.
But what the hell is with Ron's face? Look at that. Bottom right. Oof. Oh man, that's rough. That's bad. Puberty, yeah, it hits us all pretty hard.
PC version, Kryptonite, the Game Boy Advance.
At least it's not doing the thing like some of these RPGs will do when you're playing as characters, like isometric RPGs will they'll show the picture of the character, but it'll be animated, so they'll be like moving, and as you're fighting, they go rah, 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 as like their face is inside the UI. So this, I guess, is still better, but ooh.
Version and
just I can do the face too.
EA UK for the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox versions. All versions were natural progressions based on the games that came before, however they all had a fairly big shift by featuring the trio of Harry, Ron, and Hermione more prominently than in previous games.
Hermione!
In fact, all three were playable characters for the first time, and the console versions even let you switch between the three at will for most sections of the game. There are spells that are unique to certain members of the trio, which come into play when solving puzzles or trying to progress through certain levels. There are also some bizarre design decisions for the console version, such as the fact that Harry is the only character who can jump across chasms. Like the Chamber of Secrets console game before it, there were also moments where players needed to summon Hedwig for assistance. Both versions also have sequences where the player can ride Buckbeak the Hippogriff. The PC version remained more focused on puzzles, whereas the console versions continue to be more of a third-person action-adventure game with puzzle elements sprinkled throughout. Bertie Bot Beans returned and were once again used to buy items from Fred and George. Wizard cards, chocolate frogs, cauldron cakes, dung bombs, and several other items returned from previous games as well. As for the GBA version, it was once again a traditional role-playing game. It did differ from the GBA games before it by opting for turn-based combat rather than the real-time combat of the previous GBA games. Although the Game Boy Color games before it did feature turn-based battles. Critical reviews of both versions once again hovered in that 70% range, with the PS2 version.
I think Lockie is building, like, he got blocks for Christmas and we haven't really played with him, but we took him out yesterday and I think he's right above me in like the living room playing with the blocks, because I keep hearing like a bunch of stuff get knocked over and so I think he's playing with blocks up there. That's pretty cute. I guess it's kind of exciting to see a new Harry Potter game coming. The original PS1 game came out when I was at school, still only like 25 years ago. Yeah, and this is the first one that people are like really, really hyped about in a very long time. This game's Knights in the stealth section gave me nightmares as a child. Oh, really? I wonder if he's going to show it. Or he might have already, because that message is older. I don't know.
Version scoring the best. The PC version came in at 67%. Despite the completely different gameplay, the GBA version was also met with middling review scores in the 70% range. Commercially, the games were another huge success, even selling 316,000 copies in the launch month alone. 2004 would also see the release of the first ever Harry Potter mobile game, which was titled Harry Potter Find Scabbers. The gameplay was rather simple, as players would search for Scabbers as he makes his way through an assortment of different mazes. Unfortunately, this game was not well received. IGN's review of the game said, quote, Harry Potter Find Scabbers isn't much fun to begin with, but when you consider the richness of the source material, the game becomes disheartening and disappointing, close quote. Despite the poor first attempt, it certainly wouldn't be the last Harry Potter mobile game. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire released in 2005 and saw quite a few changes compared to the previous core games in the series. For starters, No Wonder was no longer in the picture and did not develop a PC version. Instead, the PC version was developed by EA UK, and it was largely the same as the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox versions. The team-based mechanic of Prisoner of Azkaban was carried over here and expanded upon. The graphics started to shift even more to make the characters look like their movie counterparts. Perhaps the most disappointing change with Goblet of Fire is how it completely did away with the more free-roaming gameplay found in the first three games. Instead, it was more action-focused and broken up into different levels as players competed in the Triwizard Tournament, in addition to a handful of other scenes found in the books and movies. And possibly as a result of these changes, players no longer controlled the game's camera. In fact, the PC version was controlled entirely by the keyboard, with no mouse input at all. On the more positive side, Goblet of Fire brought multiplayer co-op support to the series for the first time. This meant you could have friends take on the role of Ron.
What is he collecting there as he flies? Are those beans? They look like beans. Magical beans? I don't know. I think this is why I sent you the video I did, Luke. I think Hogwarts Legacy is bringing a lot out of folks. The video, although only 3 minutes, covers the hype perfectly. I'm down to check it out. Beans, yeah. Birdie bought his beans. Ah, it's like they look like beans. They better be beans. Is it only? So it's only 3 minutes long. I mean, we can check that real quick. Oh, it's one of these.
When you hear the word Hogwarts, Down syndrome isn't usually the first thing that comes to mind. But I'm looking to change all that. My name is Mrs. Spinelli, and I am the head of the special education program here at Hogwarts. School usually starts around 6 a.m. for the kids when they arrive on the short train. Come on, everyone! Grab your invisibility cloaks! For their own safety, we do have to cloak the kids on their way to class. A lot of the talking paintings were commissioned in the 16th century and can be very hurtful, particularly towards the kids of Afro-Caribbean descent. A lot of N-bombs.
How are the goblins today, Mrs. Spinelli?
It is a funny idea. Like, yeah, a lot of the paintings are really old. Maybe they're old and racist. What if we just like toss that in? It is a funny idea. Yeah. No, and it's yeah, no, I totally yeah. It's probably they're some of the paintings probably are not super sensitive to some of the new students.
Hey, stop eating my world, you little monster!
Jeremy! The work set by the school for the kids can be a little, humble. You know, for example, if a potion class requires 16 crushed beetles or 3 tongueless toads, they'll often put our children to work on that.
What Mrs. Spinelli has been doing with the Dudbloods is truly magical.
Dudbloods? Oh no. Oh no. Oh God. Dudblood. Okay, that was subtle, but my goodness. Wow. Thinking about the amount of money they already have generated with Hogwarts Legacy, I'm pretty sure there will be much more Harry Potter Wizarding World stuff to come in the near future. Oh, for real. Oh, for real. Yeah, this is from the original. This is from the original draft of the books. Yeah, this is before the editors changed it. Like, we can't call them Dudbloods. Let's call them Mudbloods. This is the original draft.
Dudbloods is the official term. I personally find it somewhat antiquated, but progress in the wizarding world is rarely made overnight. I'm pretty sure we're going to get that changed soon, though. Jeremy is one of my more challenging cases. Though it may not seem like it, Jeremy is actually neurotypical. Or normal. But like so many of his generation, he's 29 and still obsessed with Harry Potter.
Okay.
What's interesting is we usually only see this level of Potter-induced disability from women.
I'm a Hufflepuff!
Muggles aren't technically allowed in Hogwarts, but when I saw Jeremy getting a Deathly Hallows tattoo, I knew he needed saving. What are you working on there, Jeremy?
Harry Potter helping Harriet Tubman save the slaves. It's called Harry Potter and the Underground Railroad. That is the most mentally retarded thing I ever got that.
That's actually a pretty good
The
painting.
special needs wizards do explode when they're overwhelmed. We try to mitigate it by giving them rubber wands, but there's only so much you can do. We used to lose 1 or 2 students a year, but since Jeremy has been with us, it's gone up to 3 or 4 a month. Home time is particularly difficult, as the other students struggle to understand why Jeremy won't leave Hogwarts behind.
You think kids raised on Harry Potter and Hunger Games are just gonna give up? Silly adult.
It is my job to hold out hope for these kids when
Some Harry Potter fans are on this level, yeah.
no one else does. But sometimes for kids like Jeremy, there's really only one solution.
Oh, is this the ad at the end of it? I think I saw this. Yeah, Raid Shadow Legends. Wow. Yeah, no, that some fans are insane like that. Yes, absolutely. That's the vibe I get. That's awful, and I'm not laughing at all, I promise.
In her Hermione. Together, the trio
Sometimes it's only one thing you can
spells
do
for
for
more
these
power.
people.
When playing alone, most levels gave players the option to pick one of the 3 main characters, with the exception being levels that involved one of the Triwizard tasks.
I can't get over
Magic
Dud
Pockets
Blood.
developed the game for the Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS, while EA Fusion UK handled the PSP version. The GBA and DS versions were fairly similar, but neither were an RPG, as had been the custom for it.
Oh yeah, the DS games when they just had 2 screens and they didn't know what to do with it, so they're like, we'll put some UI there, I guess. One
of the handheld versions in the past. The PSP version was also its own thing, however, it tried to be closer to the home console versions than its Nintendo handheld counterparts. Even with these changes, critical reception for Goblet of Fire was mostly the same as previous games in the mainline series, hovering around an average of 68 to 70%. Most longtime fans of the series agree, though, that Goblet of Fire was a clear drop-off from the first games that came before it. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix restored the open-world exploration from the original 3 games and made some of the best attempts to please fans of the series, even going as far to involve a fan council to assist during the development process. As part of the game's open world...
That's crazy. A fan council? Bring fans in, ask them what they want in the game, and then just do that? Can you imagine that? That's pretty cool.
Nature, players could earn discovery points as they made their way through Hogwarts and use spells to interact with objects. Environmental spells included Accio, Depulso, Wingardium Leviosa, Incendio, Reparo, and Reducto. Wizard duels also made a return, with the finale even putting players in the shoes of Albus Dumbledore for his epic duel against Lord Voldemort and the Department of Mysteries. For much of the game, however, players only control Harry, which was a departure from the
It's a little less badass than the film. I'll give him that.
Previous 2 entries that had emphasized teamwork of the main trio. And speaking of Dumbledore, Dumbledore's army is also featured prominently throughout the game. Combat spells include Stupefy, Expelliarmus, Protego, Rictum Sempra, Levicorpus, Petrificus Totalis, and Expecto Patronum. Author J.K. Rowling also played a more prominent role in the development, even suggesting different characters for certain missions based on their personality within the Wizarding World. She also helped with rules for the various Wizarding World minigames that appeared, like Gobstones and Exploding Snap. With the advancements in video game technology, they were even able to scan faces of certain characters from the movie cast, like Rupert Grint and Ivana Lynch. The layout and appearance of Hogwarts was also based on the movie version of the castle. EA UK developed the game for PC, Mac, PS2, PS3, Xbox, and the Nintendo Wii, which proved to be the most popular version thanks in large part to the Wii Remote wand controls. It also didn't hurt that the Nintendo Wii was an insanely big seller. While the overall feel and lore of the game proved to be close to the source material, maybe more so than any Harry Potter game before it, the gameplay itself left much to be desired. The PC, PS3, and 360 versions certainly had the best graphics, but the Wii version was the most well-received among critics. Despite the improvements in fan involvement, however, many reviewers felt the gameplay was too easy and repetitive, which resulted in most scores falling below 70% pretty much across all platforms. The DS and GBA versions, which were developed by Visual Impact, scored poorly as well, as did the PSP version, which was developed by Rebellion Developments. And for the first time in the series, a mobile version was released by EA Mobile. Somewhat surprisingly, these Java games actually looked incredible for their time, with particularly strong lighting effects. They also featured wizard duels, flights with Hedwig, and plenty of stealth sequences throughout Hogwarts. All things considered, many felt this to be an incredibly solid attempt at making a mobile game worthy of the Harry Potter name. And that wasn't the only mobile Harry Potter game released in 2007. EA Mobile also released Harry Potter Mastering Magic for mobile phones. Mobile games were certainly still in their infancy in 2007, which is probably why Mastering Magic was simply a collection of mini-games. 8 to be exact. That being said, the games themselves weren't half bad and featured classes from the wizarding world such as divination, care of magical creatures, and herbology. Unfortunately, the game suffered from the same as many games in the series by being too repetitive and too easy. Once the lessons were completed, players would take their ordinary wizarding level exam, which did help to boost the challenge somewhat. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince released in 2009, and fans were hopeful the series would continue moving in a positive direction after the changes that were made for Order of the Phoenix. Free-roaming Hogwarts, Quidditch, and wizard duels all made a return, however many found the gameplay repetitive yet again. You would primarily control Harry, although there are segments featuring Ron and Ginny as playable characters as well. Many of the spells from the previous game returned, but no new ones were added. The Wii version utilized the Wii Remote once again for spell casting and also added Wii Remote functionality to brewing potions. Given the storyline of Half-Blood Prince, it only made sense for potions to be featured more prominently, and that's certainly the case across all versions of the game. There are numerous potion brewing segments, including one with Felix Felicis. The production value continued to increase as characters looked more like their movie counterparts than ever before thanks to advancements of console hardware at the time. Many of the movie voice actors also returned, including Rupert Grint as Ron, Bonnie Wright as Ginny, Tom Felton as Draco, and plenty of others. Unfortunately, the animations were rough and at times bad enough to actually pull you out of the experience. And unfortunately, the entire game could be completed in roughly 3.5 hours. Overall, Half-Blood Prince didn't innovate enough to see much critical success, as most reviewers scored it slightly lower than its predecessors. The Nintendo DS version used stylus controls and wasn't nearly as well received by reviewers, earning a 4.4 out of 10 from IGN. The PSP version was scored similar to the DS version. The mobile game once again proved to be a pleasant surprise, like Order of the Phoenix before it. The visual presentation was top-notch with detailed character sprites and high-quality animation. Most of the gameplay involved basic fetch quests where characters needed help finding items within Hogwarts. Then players were tasked with moving those items from one place to another. Wizard duels helped to break up the fetch quests, but while potions and Quidditch were featured so prominently in the console version, they don't appear at all in the mobile version. Harry Potter Spells was another attempt at
iPod Touch. Dude, I loved my iPod Touch. I played in chess tournaments for like a year and a half to save up enough winnings to get an iPod Touch. And when I finally did, I was so proud of it. I felt like $1 million. I was so cool. And then, my older siblings just got like gifted it for Christmas, like shortly after. So I was like, why did I save up all that money if it was just going to be for Christmas? And my parents were like, well, it's because, you have one and they won't stop talking about how you have one and it's not fair. So we just wanted to equalize everything. I'm like, yeah, but I saved up for this. Like, I did the work for it. Why, like, now they get to just skip that? That doesn't seem right. Well, life's not fair. Okay, mommy dearest. Okay. I'm telling all these stories and making my childhood sound terrible. I had a wonderful childhood, for the record. I'm not like a jilted child. I don't think that at all. But there were some things in my childhood where I'm like, yeah, that was weird. That wasn't super cool. I only had the shuffle. I did get the shuffle for Christmas back in like 2006 or 7. And we thought we were so cool. Oh, baby. I was so cool with that thing. The iPod Touch I didn't get for a few years after that. And I saved up a long time for it. And felt so cool with that thing. Oh, baby. I was unstoppable. It was when they still had the super silvery, shiny back to them. And I think it was like a 3-inch or a 3.5-inch display. It was tiny. Tiny.
Capitalizing on the rapidly growing mobile games market, and this one was all about transforming your iOS device into a wand. After choosing a wand and getting sorted, which was actually random surprisingly, you would start to learn the game's 14 different spells. Spells were cast through a series of different hand gestures. Once all 14 were mastered, players could move on to wizard duels, either against a computer-controlled player or a friend with another iOS device and a copy of the game. In 2010, it's hard to believe that nearly a decade had passed since the Chamber of Secrets Lego Creator game, but WB and Lego partnered up once again for Lego Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. And this proved to be one of the standout games of the series, and still beloved by fans today. The Lego formula for video games was already well established by 2010, and that formula lent itself perfectly to the Harry Potter franchise. The game's focus on collecting, exploring, solving puzzles, and overall sense of humor proved to be a huge hit with fans. Spellcasting was also made very simple through the use of a spell wheel. Given that the game covers the first 4 years of Harry's time at Hogwarts, it's no surprise that it's packed with content and unlockables, which include 167 characters. This certainly...
Nikki and I started going through that, and I don't think it's bad, but it's... I don't think it's aged super well. But maybe it's just that I'm spoiled by some of the later like Lego games, but I felt like it was overly complicated in a few parts, and it's just a little clunky. But I get why people like it. You okay, buddy? I'll make it. I'll be fine. It's coming together. You see this? See this? They also had me install a little turbine. So this thing is going to rotate and be the engine that spins all the way through. And so the propeller will actually turn, and it'll start right here where the engine would be, which is kind of cool. It's a neat touch. Years 5 through 7 is way better. I need to get to that then, because I think we're on like year 3 or 4 or something. We played it a little bit on the, I think PS5, I think is where we were playing it. I would not try floating it. No, I would not, Silence. No, sure wouldn't. I tried to play it after Star Wars and wasn't nearly as fun. Yeah. Will you sink it in the Atlantic Ocean when it's all built? It's only right. If somebody like let me sail out to the location of the Titanic, I would send this down in honor of them. Probably would be considered insensitive though, so we probably won't do that, but still.
Only helped Lego Harry Potter to avoid the too short complaints that had been made about previous games in the series. Locations included Hogsmeade, Diagon Alley, and of course, Hogwarts.
Diagon Alley.
While the game does feature a number of different levels, it also keeps things open for exploration through free play. The entirety of the game can be played alongside a friend thanks to the game's split-screen mode. This alters the story somewhat, as every mission is playable with a friend. The game also featured very clever uses of Polyjuice Potion and even dark magic, which was required for solving some of the puzzles. Lego creator Harry Potter Years 1 through 4 appeared on a staggering number of platforms, including Android, iOS, Nintendo DS, and PSP, which were developed by TT Fusion. Traveler's Tales made the primary version of the game for PC, Mac, Nintendo Wii, PS3, and the Xbox 360. Double 11 would later port the game to PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. The console version was overwhelmingly one of the best reviewed Harry Potter games of the entire franchise, with a Metacritic score of 80. Deathly Hallows Part 1 also released in 2010, and it too was a standout game in the series, but for all the wrong reasons. It did release alongside the movie, and in an effort to appeal to its aging core audience, EA completely altered the style of its flagship Harry Potter movie tie-in game. Deathly Hallows Part 1 changed the Harry Potter formula from an action-adventure with a focus on exploration and puzzle solving into a third-person shooter. The game heavily...
It's Resident Evil? Oh, I'm sorry. God damn it. Walter White, can you explain how I feel right now? Thank you. Wow. 13 seconds. Yeah, professional streamer, by the way. Wow. Screen. Luke. Stuck on full screen. Luke. Can't see the video. Luke. Dude, that's awesome. I love that so much. I think it's Tim the Tatman. Tim the Tatman, he has like his head mod have remote access to his streaming PC. So like if he's having technical issues, his mod can just figure it out for him without him touching anything, because he tends to break stuff when he messes with it. But moments like this, I can see why he would do that, because then if that happened, Rocky would just change the screen. Like he would just be like, okay, boop, and fix it. So I can understand why they would do that. I was gonna say you should hire someone to change the scene. Yeah, I'm a professional. I do this for a living, by the way. Sure do. I don't think I have the bandwidth to do that. I'll be real. I don't think my internet's good enough. When we get into a new place with better internet, then we'll definitely do that. We'll just let Rocky and Imperium handle everything for me, so I stop screwing it up. Anyway, this is what they were looking at, the Lego game. Sorry, I'll go back a little bit.
Mac, Nintendo Wii, PS3, and the Xbox 360. Double 11 would later port the game to PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch. The console version was overwhelmingly one of the best reviewed Harry Potter games of the entire franchise, with a Metacritic score of 80. Deathly Hallows Part 1 also released in 2010, and it too was a standout game in the series, but for all the wrong reasons. It did release alongside the movie, and in an effort to appeal to its aging core audience,
Look at that camera
EA completely
angle.
altered the style of its flagship Harry Potter movie tie-in game. Deathly Hallows Part 1 changed the Harry Potter formula from an action-adventure with a focus on exploration and puzzle solving into a third-person shooter. The game heavily relied on a cover system, clearly inspired by the likes of shooter titles like Gears of War. The game even emphasized landing headshots and upgrading to stronger spells. There was no free roaming, no Quidditch, and sadly, no Hogwarts. Although the latter is a result of the book and movie storyline, which took the trio out of their usual setting, as the fight against Voldemort entered its final chapter. Instead, players fight numerous Death Eaters, Snatchers, giant spiders, dragons, Doxies, Whomping Willows, and Dementors.
What I was going to say, before I screwed that up, is that this looks just like what they did with Resident Evil 8. They're like, oh, suspense thriller? Suspense horror game? No. We'll make it an action thriller shooter. And the last mission will just be basically a Call of Duty mission.
Somewhat hilariously, the game uses the Elixir of Life as a healing item, which fans know was actually the potion Nicholas Flamel created with the Sorcerer's Stone to extend his life. The decision to go more action-oriented with Deathly Hallows was certainly understandable. However, its execution failed due to a messy narrative style and the imprecise gameplay mechanics. Side missions often served no purpose other than to extend the gameplay length, and they completely broke up the storyline that players actually wanted to know about. There were stealth sections along the way which tried to break up the action, but unfortunately, both fans and critics alike are nearly unanimous in their disdain for Deathly Hallows Part 1, and Part 2 for that matter. The review scores across the board were the lowest of the series, with a Metacritic score of 37 out of 100 for the PC version. The Nintendo DS version was once again completely different and focused primarily on puzzle gameplay. As a result, it did see slightly more favorable review scores. The mobile version of the game proved to be another quality title, once again complete with outstanding visuals and a strategic combat system. Pocket Gamer gave it a Silver Award and noted, quote, "The brilliant atmosphere, challenging combat, and superb storytelling are a magical recipe that any potions master would be proud of," close quote. And although it wasn't a traditional video game per se, Screen Life Games also published a mobile version of the popular Scenic game for iOS in 2010. The game featured HD clips from the first 6 movies and included a number of mini-games to test players' memory. In 2011, EA released what should have been an epic conclusion to the series that built upon all the titles that came before. To their credit, EA did hear the complaints on Part 1 and certainly attempted to remedy that with Part 2. But unfortunately, the result was another disappointing entry in the Harry Potter series. On the positive side, EA attempted to tell the story in a linear fashion that followed the movie more closely than Part 1 by not including those seemingly random, unnecessary side missions, and went back to a spellcasting system that mapped spells to the face buttons. They also added sequences with more playable characters in an attempt to capture the collective efforts of wizards fighting on Harry's side throughout the series and in the Battle of Hogwarts.
Okay.
Playable characters included Harry, Ron, Hermione, Ginny, Neville, and even Seamus, Professor McGonagall, and Molly Weasley. Unfortunately, the overall gameplay and progression once again suffered with boring level designs and wave after wave of Death Eaters to fight. The game also proved to be another short experience that could be beaten in around 3 hours. All in all, it was a disappointing...
It's boring, repetitive, bloated, and still only 3 hours long.
conclusion, even by the mediocre...
Jan, good to see ya. We'll be wrapping up soon, don't worry.
...standards of the
Much
movie
love, have a great
tie-in
weekend.
games that came before it. This time round, even the mobile version was somewhat of a disappointment. Gameloft handled development rather than EA Mobile, and the game suffered as a result of this change. The graphics and animations were praised yet again, but the gameplay fell flat. Pocket Gamer said, quote, "But when it comes to play itself, and the beguiling plot that rests heavy upon it, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 is neither engaging enough to mop up those with a casual interest, or active enough to serve those first in the queue at the flicks." Close quote. Fortunately for Harry Potter fans, Deathly Hallows Part 2 wasn't the only Potter video game to release in 2011. Traveler's Tales was back with the sequel to its first LEGO Harry Potter game. LEGO Harry Potter Years 5 through 7 covered the events from Order of the Phoenix all the way to the series' conclusion in Deathly Hallows. The game once again delivered the classic LEGO formula with 2-player co-op, humor, fun yet simple mechanics, and a plethora of extras to unlock. Although some scenes are changed from the books and movies, often for comedic effect, the LEGO games did a great job at including the most iconic moments throughout Harry's final years at Hogwarts, including the battle at the Department of Mysteries, Dumbledore and Harry's fight against Inferi in the cave, and of course, Harry's final confrontation with Voldemort himself. Like years 1 through 4, LEGO Harry Potter years 5 through 7 remains one of the best reviewed Potter games to date, with aggregate scores in the high 70s to low 80s depending on the platform. The DS and PSP
the gameplay is giving me a headache.
versions were both scaled back versions of the console.
That reminds me, when you're free to watch a Last of Us watch party, we have 8 to 20 p.m. or 18 to 20 Colorado time. Okay, so like 6 to 8 p.m. Best days are probably like Thursday. Probably. I'd say. Yeah, I'd say Thursday.
Games. As a result, they didn't review as well, but most still found them to be enjoyable. Following the release of Deathly Hallows Part 2 and LEGO Harry Potter years 5 through 7...
I did not see that Whisper of Shadows. I did not see that. Ideally, I'd say 8 p.m., so 20 or 2,000 hours, because Lockie goes to bed at 7:30 usually, so that would be ideal if it would be after he goes to bed.
In 2011, the franchise entered a new era for the series, as no other books or movies were on the horizon. In 2012, WB released what can best be described as experimental titles, heavy on gimmicks, with Harry Potter for the Microsoft Kinect, Wonderbook Book of Spells for the PlayStation 3, and then Wonderbook Book of Potions, also for PS3. Harry Potter Kinect was an exclusive title for the Xbox 360 and unsurprisingly required the Kinect accessory. Spells were performed with physical gestures and verbal incantations. This game was clearly geared toward a younger audience considering its actively tiring controls and short overall length. Book of Spells seemed to fare a little bit better with critics. The title actually came about as a result of a partnership between J.K. Rowling's Pottermore website and Sony Computer Entertainment. The game was developed by Sony's London studio and even gave users the option to link the game to their Pottermore accounts, which would then in turn match the player's wand and Hogwarts house from their Pottermore account. As far as the actual gameplay, Book of Spells was an augmented reality experience that was exclusive to PlayStation and took advantage of the iToy and PlayStation Move accessories. Like the Wii Remote before it, the Move controller was a natural fit to simulate wand motions. Through augmented reality with the iToy, the Move controller itself appears as a wand on the TV screen. The title, Book of Spells, is actually inspired by the textbook written by Miranda Goshawk in the series. In what is seemingly a common theme for many of the Harry Potter games, the overall experience ended up being rather short and not worth the price of a full-fledged release. Critics did praise the actual mechanics of the game and its clever use of the PlayStation Move controller. Wonderbook Book of Potions released...
What I find interesting is just how many of these things show... Brought to you by J.K. Rowling. Like, I just find that interesting because now they do not mention that. It can just go to show you how much somebody's reputation can change and how quickly that can happen.
In 2013 as a follow-up and featured nearly identical gameplay but with more of a focus on brewing potions rather than casting spells. J.K. Rowling created a completely new character, Zygmunt Budge, who guided players in their potion making throughout the game.
I am Zygmunt Budge. I discovered the properties of hundreds of secret plants and creatures.
Budge attended Hogwarts at some point between the years of 1501 and 1594, but his house is unknown. In the foreword of Book of Potions, Budge claims to have invented many of the Wizarding World's most powerful potions. As far as critical reception, Book of Potions went by largely unnoticed to reviewers. It actually only received one critical review score on Metacritic. The Daily Telegraph's Andy Robertson published one of the few reviews for the game and gave it an overall positive review. After Book of Potions in 2013, the series went quiet for a long stretch. Even though there weren't any new books or movies, it's somewhat surprising to see that the series lay dormant for so long. In 2016, though, that changed as WB released a brand new film set in the Wizarding World.
Brought to you by nothing to do with J.K. Rowling, we promise. Yeah, exactly. That's how they deal with it now. Yeah, you want to be a part of the day one chaos? It will be insane.
Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, a prequel to the events of Harry Potter. Somewhat surprisingly, WB did not create a major video game for the release of Fantastic Beasts. They did, however, release a new mobile game for Android and iOS, Fantastic Beasts: Cases from the Wizarding World. WB Games San Francisco partnered with developer Mediatonic to create a single-player, hidden object-style game where players controlled a member of the Beast Division in the Department for Regulation and Control of Magical Creatures. The game took players through familiar locations such as Hogsmeade, the Leaky Cauldron, and Diagon Alley. There were 14 different cases for players to solve, which always involved uncovering a hidden magical beast causing some sort of unexplained happenings around it. Players would find hidden objects, cast spells, brew potions, and identify beasts to crack the case. Unfortunately, the game was officially shut down in January of 2020. From 2018 through 2021, WB only released a handful of mobile titles for the Harry Potter franchise, including Harry Potter Hogwarts Mystery in 2018.
It's still crazy to me that, like, the films have been over for a decade, and they're like, yeah, they only released a handful of titles. Like, that's still crazy to me. That's wild.
Narrative-based role-playing game developed by Jam City under licensing from Portkey.
Rocky, go get some sleep.
It takes place after Harry
Have a
Potter's
good weekend.
birth, but before his enrollment at Hogwarts. With this timeline, many characters fans know from the series, such as Dumbledore, McGonagall, and Snape, make an appearance here. Players will also meet and work alongside Bill Weasley, who's a student at Hogwarts at the same time as the player. All of the elements you'd expect are here, such as learning spells, brewing potions, and playing Quidditch. The game even covers a full 7 years at Hogwarts, and the choices you make along the way impact certain story elements and your relationship with other characters. Unfortunately, while the game is free, it's riddled with microtransactions and incredibly frustrating pay-to-win mechanics. In fact, the prices were so egregious that fan backlash led to a price cut on many of these microtransactions. Both reviewers and fans alike have criticized the pay structure of the game, and many specifically noted an early scene that immediately depletes your energy meter and then requires you to either wait half an hour for the energy to replenish, or pay real-world money to instantly refill the energy meter. Even with these criticisms, the game grossed $55 million in revenue by August 2018, and more than $100 million by March of 2019.
Yeah, you've never heard of this game, and it made $100 million. That is the power of, for one, mobile games, and two, the Harry Potter franchise. Like, the franchise is still gigantic, even with people trying to cancel everyone else for enjoying it. And, you know, we always say, like, why do they keep doing this? We rage every time that they do microtransaction stuff in these games. When will they learn? It's like, no, they learned that it works because tons of people still pay it. Isn't the Dark Arts pack you can technically buy later, or buy later technically a microtransaction? I mean, a lot of people say no. A lot of the Harry Potter fanboys I've talked to have said no. I would say it's not a full transaction. It's not an expansion. It's like a smaller transaction you can make. Not a full transaction for like a game. Not big enough to be an expansion. So it's like a very small transaction. A mini transaction. A micro transaction. So I would call it a microtransaction. But a lot of people are trying to play on the technicalities. Because when people hear microtransaction, they think like, pay $1.99 for this thing. And so they don't think of it. They think of it as an extra piece of DLC or content or something. But I'm like, I mean, it's a microtransaction. That's what it is. So I would say so, but the developers are saying no microtransactions. They're classifying it as like an additional piece of downloadable content. And if that's the only thing that's downloadable content at launch, you know what, that's not that bad. I'll give them that. I think eventually they'll have DLC and expansions and stuff. They'll bring in more cosmetics you can buy, and you know they'll capitalize on this. But I would say that it's nano transactions. Yeah, I would classify it as micro, but a lot of people don't.
At the time of this recording, Hogwarts Mystery is still being supported with new updates. Harry Potter Wizards Unite is a mobile title developed and published by Niantic under licensing from Portkey Games, and yes, it's the very same Niantic who created the incredibly popular Pokemon Go. Like Pokemon Go, the gameplay is based around augmented reality and location-based gameplay. Players needed to physically visit real-world locations and use their mobile device to cast spells, discover artifacts, and meet up with familiar characters and fantastic beasts from the wizarding world of Harry Potter. Similar to most Potter games before it, you'll choose your wand and house at the start of the game, but in this one, you'll also need to pick a profession. You can be a professor, auror, or magizoologist. By May of 2021, the title had been downloaded 20 million times and had a total revenue of 37 million. Unfortunately, the game fell short of expectations, and in November of 2021, they announced plans to remove the game from all app stores in December and then fully shut down the game in January of 2022. Harry Potter Puzzles and...
I think what it was is it launched like right around the time people were still in lockdowns and people weren't going out anywhere near as much, so it was never going to do as well as Pokemon Go. I mean, and I downloaded it, I tried it, and like where I live in Colorado, there's nothing. Like Pokemon Go you can't play because there's just nothing around here. Because they basically populate based on population density. So like the more people are there, the more items there are for you to collect. So if you live somewhere that's a little more remote, there's just nothing. And so there's nothing to collect or get. And with this game, it was the same kind of thing. So I was like not going out very often, downloaded it, and I caught like 2 or 3 creatures. And I was like, okay, well, this was fun. And so I just got rid of it.
Spells is yet another Harry Potter mobile game, although this one was developed by the mobile gaming giant Zynga and published by Portkey Games in September of 2020. It was released on Android, iOS, Kindle, and Facebook. At its core, Puzzles and Spells is a match 3 puzzle game that includes familiar Wizarding World locations like Diagon Alley and Hogwarts, among others. It puts a spin on the classic match 3 formula by having various Harry Potter spells and items that you can earn along the way to help you clear the puzzles. The game is free to play but does feature some microtransactions. At the time of this video recording, it has more than 134,000 ratings on iOS with an impressive 4.8 out of 5 average score. It's also still being actively supported by Zynga with frequent updates and a story that spans across multiple books. Harry Potter Magic Awakened is a Wizarding World mobile game that just recently had its official launch, but only in select territories. It's an RPG card game for PC, Android, and iOS, and it's set 10 years after Harry Potter's victory over Voldemort in the Battle of Hogwarts. It was first announced back in October of 2019 and is being developed by NetEase and published by WB under the Portkey Games label. With this game taking place so close to the original series, there are actually quite a few familiar faces that players will interact with throughout the game. The main character's journey starts similar to Harry's when the half-giant Rubeus Hagrid shows up to deliver a letter of acceptance to a young Muggleborn. Hagrid
Doesn't look
teaches them
horrible.
about the Wizarding World and joins them on their first trip to Diagon Alley. The story really kicks off at the sorting ceremony when a fellow first year, Ivy Warrington, goes missing. Players will get to choose their Hogwarts house, attend classes, explore the castle, and even join the dueling club. Most of the action and spellcasting will be centered on the game's card-based combat system. The game has impressed so far, but a large portion of the Harry Potter fan base is still awaiting its release in more territories. It's to publish under the Portkey Games label. Players will create their own witch or wizard and step into a late 1800s wizarding world long before Harry defeats Voldemort at the Battle of Hogwarts. The game is an open-world action RPG, and given the incredible success of the genre in recent years, fans are hopeful this could finally be the Harry Potter game to buck the trend of being merely acceptable, and hopefully moving up to exceeding expectations, or possibly even outstanding. Even with the late 1800s timing, players will travel to familiar locations such as the Forbidden Forest and Hogsmeade Village. Magical creatures will feature prominently, and a number of them have already been confirmed, including centaurs, goblins, graphorns, mooncalves, spiders, trolls, and hippogriffs. Despite the lengthy history of video games set in the Wizarding World, longtime fans of the series are still holding out hope for a game that can fully capture the magic of the rich and vibrant world fans fell in love with so many years ago. Today, many players...
I mean, we'll see. Hopefully it does live up to it. This game looks good. What's it called again? I think personally, if I had to put money on it, I think Hogwarts Legacy probably comes out and is going to sit at like mid to high 80s. That's what I would expect. I don't think it's going to be like breathtakingly amazing. I think like the story will be serviceable. I think the combat's probably going to be robust enough. I would expect them to lean heavily into some like really repetitious combat with like, you know, the typical battle arenas. You move to this room, you get jumped. Move to the next room, you get jumped. That kind of thing. Because most inexperienced open world action RPG style developers tend to rely a lot on that type of thing. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting to see how they pull it off. It's going to be too short. It's probably going to be very, very... I would guess that it's probably pretty repetitive, but I don't know if it'll be short. Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy only feuded because they secretly had unresolved homosexual feelings for one another. Buy my game or don't. I honestly couldn't care anymore, you filthy dud bloods. Harry Potter and Draco Malfoy. Oh, that's the same one. Or Hermione. Where is it? Hermione was always in a wheelchair. Hogwarts is wheelchair accessible. It's just like, oh man, those are believable too, and that's what's more sad, I think, at the end of the day. Let's see. I've already started getting like swarmed by people calling for me to like saying really, really quiet stuff, but they just like come back and they say, I'm really disappointed in you, Luke, for talking about Hogwarts Legacy. I've gotten those messages, and it's only going to start to pour in more and more. So buckle up. I mean, we all know that there's going to be a lot of this. And once we get closer to the game, it's going to be everywhere. Like, I think at this point, it's just the Streisand effect. We're starting to really accentuate and exaggerate what this is. It's really not that big of a deal or scandalous. The overwhelming majority of people don't think that you're a bad person for enjoying something like this. So I think I'm going to not be acknowledging the crap with it again any sooner, just because I think it's a non-issue for most people pretty clearly, I think. So just not going to talk about it because it's, at this point, I've spoken my piece. I've said what I think of the matter. So I just don't think it's bringing it up again. So that's why, like, I'm sure we'll get some comments and stuff, but I think moving forward, you'll see, like, in the streams, I just won't really respond to that stuff. I'll probably just refer people to the video that will be going up probably sometime this coming week that we did, in a stream, I think on Wednesday it was, or maybe Monday. So we'll do stuff like that because I just don't think it's worth doubling down on. I would love an MMO like Hogwarts Legacy. A lot of people think that it is like an MMO and that it's multiplayer. I don't know why I thought, but when I saw them announce this, I just assumed it was going to be a Harry Potter multiplayer game. But no, it's single player, and we'll see. But I would hope that eventually they try something like that, because I think that could do very, very well. Very, very well. But okay, everybody, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me and chilling. You guys are wonderful as always. I am going to upload the Forspoken thing for Jacob to start working on, and he will get that up on Monday. So you guys will see yourselves in that video. As for other little tidbits, have a great weekend. Next week, we'll be doing a watching party for The Last of Us, it sounds like. So we'll do that. And then what else? Oh, members only streams. We'll be back to doing that next week. This week was a little hectic, but next week we'll be back to it. I think we're going to do it every other week. Maybe once a month. I don't know. We'll kind of see how often people show up, but members only streams, you'll get notified of that. And go check out the new video on Fallout 4 that went up on the main channel. Much love, everybody. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and stay safe out there. Much love. I'll see you on Monday. Hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.